Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Thursday, January 2nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect sunny skies with a high of 64 in hour one of today's show. We'll recap LSU's victory over Baylor in the Texas Bowl, and we'll give some thoughts on the college football playoff. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome in to another edition of OTB, the first one of 2025 as we are into a new year, and I hope you're having a good new year. Now, obviously, 2025 was rung in a completely tragic and awful way. We will talk about the Sugar Bowl taking place later this afternoon instead of having taken place last night because of, again, a senseless terrorist attack. And it's heartbreaking. It's awful. It made it really weird to want to talk about college football or kind of enjoy it. It just made everything bad, tinged everything with bad yesterday. And certainly been praying for everybody who's been mentally or physically affected, and I know its scope and reach is very large. And so there's no, I want this show to be what it always is. I want it to be a distraction from the real world for everybody to sit here, maybe have some fun over the next 3 hours. We do got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, but just know that our hearts are definitely with everybody who we know or don't know. Just, again, anybody who's been mentally or physically affected by this awful attack. And we'll continue to pray for them, pray for safety tonight during the game. And the impossible pivot here is we are going to do the show, and we will talk about football and preview the game and talk about yesterday's games and talk about the bowl game and everything else. And hopefully, because that's one of the great parts about sports, is they become that escape. They become that distraction from the real world and all of its complex problems. Hopefully, this show can give you a little bit of a respite or a bit of an escape over the next few hours, for sure. Anything, Jake, before we kind of begin the show here?
No, I mean, incredibly tragic for all those involved, but the Besh family is somebody that we know certainly here in this building, in this city, in this state. It is one of the best families that you can know. I mean, from top to bottom, very close-knit family as well. I mean, they do everything together. Like, if you know one Besh, you know them all. And so, obviously, we're talking about everybody that was affected, but somebody that we know on an individual, on a personal level, Tiger Besh losing his life, just it even hits even more to your heartstrings and closer to home when you know somebody affected, when you know the family, when you know what they're all about. And so, you're right. I mean, senseless. Just there's no words. There's no words when something like this happens.
Just evil, just pure evil, and it's heartbreaking. And again, there's no I don't know. There's no right way. I don't know. I don't exactly know how to handle this. Right? It's just awful. Just completely awful. And all I know to do is to pray for all those who are suffering right now. So that's what we'll continue to do, and I hope that you do as well. For now, impossible pivot. Let's do the show. We'll do the show over the next 3 hours, and again, hopefully provide some sort of distraction if that's what you're seeking. If not, I understand. Turn it off. Go do whatever you need to do for you today, for sure. So we are back for the first time in a while. Taylor, how did Monday go? You hosted Monday with the ragtag motley crew. Who all do we have in here? Cassie filled in. I owe her. Filled in last minute. Big time. Well, who else is here?
So you'll love this. I'm hosting. Cassie's doing video. Musso's doing audio. For AFR, Musso hosted. Cassie did video. I did audio. So it was all three of us. We kind of handled the entire day. Yeah, it was nice. It was fun. I mean, we made it happen.
Heck yeah. Good job, man. Very good job. Thank you. That day off was excellent, extending the vacation a little bit there. Alondra, welcome back. 2 weeks gone back home in Texas, and we'll get to it, but your Longhorns barely escaping the wrath of Cam Scatterby yesterday. How was going home?
Yeah, it was good. Favorite part, we told you when I was at Whiskey and Wine, I was telling Tay this morning, Kill Tony was 10 out of 10. I would recommend if you ever thought about going to a Kill Tony show to go to it because it was really good.
So who all was on the who all was on the panel?
It was Joe Rogan.
Wow.
Adam Ray impersonating Joe Biden and Harlan Williams. And
fantastic.
It was really good. It was awesome. But yeah, glad to be back. I feel like I was gone forever. Jake walked in this morning, was like, do you know how to work everything back there? And I was like, I don't know, we'll see.
A nice long reset heading into 2025. Jake, what about you? I'm sure your day was insane yesterday. You've been in New Orleans covering the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, so I guess that would have been Monday. I mean, gosh, who even knows what day it is when you get to this point of the year. Covered media day down there on Monday and then turned my attention to the Texas Bowl. So went over to Houston and then was going to go back to the Sugar Bowl on, I guess it would have been Tuesday night. Decided to stop in Baton Rouge and just sleep at home and then drive that next morning. And so I, woke up to obviously the terrible news there. So a little bit of back and forth between the Sugar Bowl and the Texas Bowl. Going to go back here probably very quickly after the show today.
So the game's at 3 p.m. this afternoon. Let's go ahead. Speaking of the Texas Bowl, let's go ahead and get this thing started.
It's time to get to work, courtesy of Tiger Labor and Staffing, where they can help take care of screening, training, payroll, and more. Now, for starters.
That's right, guys. Tiger Labor and Staffing, your local, reliable staffing solution experts for warehouse construction or manufacturing positions, whether it's temporary or long-term hires, we have you covered with skilled, dependable workers. And again, like I said, locally owned and operated, fast, flexible service. And it's not just forwarding you resumes, okay? We are interviewing and dispatching in person every single morning at 5 a.m. Shout out to Tiger Labor and Staffing. So LSU takes on Baylor in the Texas Bowl. And there were a lot of question marks for 5 new starters on the offensive line, or at least 3 new starters, 4 guys in new positions, a tight end room that had been depleted, and yet that LSU offense comes out, immediately sets the tone, kicks ass, and ends up carrying the day. And in a day and age where people wonder about the value of bowl games, I think they still matter. I think they still matter quite a bit. I think they set the tone for the offseason. It's not that a loss is the end-all, be-all, but you know what's not fun? Having to explain away a loss. Having to do the logical or mental gymnastics of, well, yes, this was bad, but here's why, and here's why it may be better next year. Like, instead now, you get to get incredibly excited for Trades Green. You gained confidence in a new look offensive line that will have a couple more bodies added to it, but certainly will mainly be made up of who you saw on Saturday. Chris Hilton, what a moment for him. Like, the positives of this game, I think, kind of rocket you into the offseason on a platform of success.
Here's what you have to do with a game like this if you think bowl games don't matter. Okay, you have to understand that there's going to be a purpose because you're out there and you're actually playing the game. So you can get excited about players and their future, but also you can understand Trades Green got a chance to play real tight end. He got a chance to run block for a full entire game against a Big 12 opponent. Caden Durham got a chance to pass protect against a Big 12 opponent, something where he's kind of come out of the game, and Josh Williams has had to go in because Josh is better at pass protection. Well, Caden's a freshman. He's going to continue to get better and grow there. So he gets an opportunity to go out there and do that. You get a chance like on defense for Devon Keys to get reps, for different players, for Jordan Gilbert, who was as healthy as he's been in a long time. He looked like he had a different gear, right? And I've talked a lot about how he needed to improve throughout the year. Now, there's still room for improvement, but that was a guy, had a break, had 14 practices to get healthy. He looked like he was playing at a different speed. So, like, there's little nuances in between every single play that we could talk about, and that's going to benefit you as you head into spring practice.
I think it's also a commentary on culture in some ways, right? You saw a Texas A&M team up 24-7 against a USC team that in no way even resembled the USC team of the regular season. And yet, the Trojans found a way to come back and win that game. In fact, funny little quirk here. USC ends up 2-0ing the SEC in Las Vegas. If only they could play every game in Vegas, USC would have been very good this season. But how do you think Texas A&M fans feel today about their program under Mike Elko? A year that feels all too familiar. Hot start, fizzle out, 8-5 record at the end of the day. I mean, absolutely defeating. What about Alabama? A Michigan team with multiple All-American opt-outs. And Alabama am in a similar position to Georgia last year. Feeling snubbed. We should have been in the playoffs. Pissing on everybody's good time throughout round one. Just yelling at us all. We should have been in there. And then what did you do against a 7-5 Michigan team? You got your ass whooped. Even though, again, I bring up the Georgia comparison there because Georgia was in a similar position last year, feeling snubbed, going to prove a point. What did they do? They dismantled FSU.
Yep.
Alabama looked unprepared, got their ass kicked, and they finish without 10 wins, 9-4 in year one of Kalen Moore. You don't think that matters? You don't think that affects their vibes going into the offseason? It absolutely does. And so I come away from this Texas Bowl, despite all the bad, the month of bad after the 6-1 start, the 3-game winning streak going into the offseason has given me more hope, much more hope than I would have had for next season from a culture standpoint. And now, thanks to the bowl game, just some of the players that you can start to get excited about that maybe had lesser roles during the majority of this season.
Yeah, and look, Baylor had more of their regular team in this game, certainly had more, right? They had most of their Jimmies and Joes. They didn't have a lot of opt-outs. They didn't have a lot in the transfer portal. They didn't have early entry guys into the NFL. So this was a team that won 6 games in a row in the Big 12 that you were playing against. And, for the most part, in a couple of key spots, you were held together with duct tape and super glue.
Yeah.
And so you're right about the culture and going out there and just playing football. And we saw some guys that we hadn't seen since August. I mean, Toviano's out there playing 86 plays. All right, that's a guy that we haven't really seen. I mean, we've seen him on special teams. We've seen him a little bit here, a little bit there. Gabe Relaford, 44 plays. Ahmad Bro, 43. P.J. Woodland, 41 plays in this game. And that's on the defensive side. Michael Turner Jr., there's probably some people that had to go pull out the media guide to find out who that was. Probably forgot about him, right? He's playing out there. He's playing 20 plays at corner. And, of course, we could go to the offensive line, talk about the plays that Bo Bordelon played tight end this year.
Yeah.
And he's starting and playing right guard, and Bo plays 32 plays at right guard. So it was impressive. You can, get mad at what the season was. We all can. And we can be disappointed that LSU's not in the 12-team playoff. But for what you could control after the situation was set, you did a really nice job of going to Houston, making the plays that you had to make, creating some guys that are going to have some momentum going into the offseason. I think, your leaders did a really nice job that are coming back, and we'll get to Whit Weeks here in a little bit. We'll get to Garrett Nussmeier. But for what the situation was after it was set, you did as well as you possibly could to go to Houston, take care of business, come back to Baton Rouge, winning 3 games in a row, and now you got to get to work.
So you can, again, I agree with everything Jake just said, and to kind of reinforce that, you can believe that overall you're a bit disappointed in the 9-4 record and some of the missed opportunities. I mean, again, you were 1 game away from Atlanta. Who knows what happens then? Like you were closer than your final record would make it appear to doing some really big things. So that is disappointing. But you can also engage in nuance and understand that despite that disappointment, the 3 wins that you finished here with were damn strong.
Yeah.
You beat a good Vanderbilt team who beat a good Georgia Tech team in their bowl game to finish the season strong. You beat you didn't beat a good Oklahoma team. You beat an Oklahoma team coming off of a 24-3 beatdown of Alabama, and you beat their ass.
Yeah.
Wasn't even close. And then you catch a red-hot Baylor team with one of the better quarterbacks in the country. And Sawyer Robertson, a guy who will be, I believe, well, does he return next year?
Yeah, he'll come back.
He'll be one of the, if not the best quarterback potentially in the Big 12. They'd won 6 in a row, and you really handled them from the jump. So we'll get into like the game and what we like most. We got to talk about Garrett Nussmeier and Whit Weeks and everything else. But overall, I was just tickled, very pleased. A+ marks for preparing for a bowl game and showing that every time you step on that field, you're not going to accept excuses and you're going to play your ass off because you are given the privilege and the honor of putting on that uniform and that helmet and going to fight for 60 minutes. It would have been real easy for this team to not care like or lay an egg like you saw other teams do, specifically in this conference throughout bowl season.
Yeah.
And yet you did not. You held the rope. And that is commendable. And it was a lot of fun to watch, frankly. It was a very fun game. So more when we get back. If you want to get involved, youtube.com/1045ESPN. More Off the Bench coming up next.
Off the bench.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com is the website where you can get some incredible deals on really whatever you need, right? I mean, you go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com and you can do an inventory search where you can go by vehicle, the type, make, model. You can look up keywords. You can do your budget. So if you want to start your journey online, they have excellent tools with which to do so. Or you just go in and you talk to the incredible sales staff and they can lead you in the right direction. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Yeah, go to that website today. Remember, whatever you can buy new, you can lease, and you can rent. You're not going to find that anywhere else. And when you're buying new, when you're leasing, when you're renting, so many different options. Whatever you need, whatever your family's needs are, they can be met over at All-Star. If you need something bigger, full-size SUV, mid-size SUV, Sienna minivan, multiple trucks, sedans, hybrids, whatever it is, everything's there available for you. Again, buying new, leasing, and renting. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so
used to think that I wasn't fine enough, and I used to think that I wasn't wild enough.
Welcome back to the best morning sports show around. Sorta. It's Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Welcome back to Off the Bench. So we were just talking about Arizona State and Texas in the commercial break. We will get there, as Cam Scadamy was the story of college football over the weekend, and that Arizona State team may be saving college football. But first, let's continue to talk LSU and the Texas Bowl as LSU defeats Baylor. What's the final score? 44-32?
44-31.
44-31. Let's talk about Garrett Nussmeier, because Nuss has a big day, 3 more tuds, another 300 yards, 1 pick. He ends up, though, when it's all said and done, over 4,000 yards in his first year starting, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and it's impossible for me. And it's not just me. Like, I know when I talk about LSU, I have so much bias that I would never argue that anything I ever say is a fully objective opinion, because I think that's probably impossible per the definition of objective. I try to be, but it's not just me. I mean, if you look at the way too early Heisman odds, even before this game, remember, Garrett Nussmeier was second in the country. He's second on that list, I think only to Arch Manning. And then he comes out here, and with a new offensive line and new weapons, he doesn't take a sack. He dices up Baylor, and he finishes the season with 4,000 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 picks. And most importantly, you saw how he responds to adversity. We mentioned it during the year when he went through that slump, where he throws a couple picks when guys are there that he's not expecting them to, and then he gets rattled a little bit, loses some confidence. When he went through that slump, it would have been real easy to completely crater. But he managed to get out of it. He managed to finish strong. Even in this game, he threw a similar pick to those that kind of broke him during the season. Guy not there, or, guy was there that he wasn't expecting to be there. All of a sudden, it's a bad pick. And he comes back and he finishes extremely strong and closes out the game. So what I've seen in Garrett Nussmeier, especially when you combine it with the context of Jaden Daniels year 1 and 2 year, JoJo Burrow, like all these other guys who come through recently, how could you not be over the moon excited about this guy coming back with the weapons that you just saw, and with adding guys like Nick Anderson, Barry and Brown, adding a couple of linemen to that O-line that didn't give up a sack. Like the scramble when Mabinga got beat, one of the only times the O-line really got beat, but the fadeaway scramble throw to Aaron Anderson, and then next play is the touchdown to Chris. It's just really elite level stuff from your quarterback, Garrett Nussmeier.
I thought he played fantastic in this game. You're right. He had the mistake, and he knows that he's got to fix situations like that. It was a coverage that he's going to be able to read almost every single time. He didn't in that situation, but he finds his way back. And you're right. You look at his top targets in this game, and, they weren't the top 3 guys that he had. Well, I wouldn't say top 3, but certainly 3 of the top 5 with C.J. Daniels in the transfer portal, now moving on. You don't have a Kyron Lacey. You don't have your biggest, kind of security blanket in Mason Taylor as well. And I can't imagine as a quarterback what that's like to lose that guy going into a game like this, because that's who you typically look for on third downs. But shout out to Chris Hilton Jr. We talked about him so much in August, because if you went to training camp, and I mean, Tay talked about it, he went out there all the time. he was dominating.
Yeah.
And you were so excited. We all were so excited about what he could do. He gets hurt. I was actually at the practice that he got hurt, and you could tell like the air just went out of the building because everybody kind of knew what he was going to do early in this season. Then he comes back, and he was rusty. We all know that. I mean, jumping for balls and not timing the jump, and then when he gets on the sideline with BK there, I believe that was the Florida game, and so, there was some trials and tribulations to him coming back, but then he gets a chance to get healthy. We saw it against Oklahoma, what he can do, and then he continues that. I mean, being there in the stadium, you almost felt bad for Baylor's corner because he knew what was about to happen, and he still couldn't stop it.
No, I mean, Chris Hilton is such a unrepresented element on this team in terms of just being a true, very tall, long, deep threat. There is no other person on the team that represents the same skill set that Chris Hilton brings to the table, and it's so impactful. If you look at Oklahoma, you look at this game, it's hard to feel. I got to give a shout out to my friend, Professor Scott Burns. He says at Whiskey Wine that he's like, I think LSU's 1.5 wins better with Hilton. And I don't know. You can argue about the number, but he is so impactful that when you look at a guy like that, I believe his absence or his attendance can represent an actual result change, turning a loss into a win. Like, who knows what happens if you have him here all year long. But
it does so much, to your point. Like, so it does so much for your offense, and not just with the plays that you actually hit to Chris Hilton Jr. Like, those certainly are a part of the equation. But if you don't, and we saw it early in this game, everybody's a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. The running lanes aren't exactly there like they're going to be there if a safety group, if a corner group is terrified that they're going to get run by.
Yeah.
If they think they're going to get run by, what do? Well, they back up. They back up 2 full yards. And so those running lanes and a guy like Caden Durham and Josh Williams, in this game, that's all they need. They just need a little bit of room there, and they get going. And so it just even the threat of it changes the dynamics of your offense. And it was fun to kind of watch it play out in real time calling the game. Because you could see it. You could see when Baylor's like, okay, we got to change. We can't do what we thought we could coming in to this game. And it just opens up so many things for you. Hard, heavy play action is going to be there because when you have a deep threat like that, if the corner or if the safety is a half second late, Chris Hilton Jr. is going to run by them. I mean, even one of those, and Blair was joking on the broadcast, Hilton beat the DB so bad and Nuss threw it as far as he could, but Hilton still had to wait on the ball. I mean, he had time because he beat the DB that bad off the line
one
of
that
scrimmage.
he came back on. I mean, it was that I kind of liked it though because it showed it's easy to catch a perfect throw in stride when you've smoked the guy by 5 yards. When you smoke the guy by 5 yards and the ball's severely underthrown and you have to slide as you're being interfered with and tackled, and you still come up with a catch. In the end, that actually makes me more excited than the cleaner first touchdown.
Yeah.
Because it speaks to just how high the skill ceiling could be on Chris Hilton.
Yeah, and you saw Chris Hilton Jr., you saw Aaron Anderson, who continues. I mean, you want to talk about most improved players on this football team. He is certainly up for that conversation from what he was year 1 to year 2. Trey'Dez Green was awesome, being the full-time
let's talk about Trey'Dez
tight end here. We get to Xavion Thomas as well, but Trey'Dez Green deserves certainly to be talked about because I give him a lot of credit for doing what he did through the air, but also being a willing blocker in the run game, which is something he's going to have to do with where this tight end room currently sits.
Yeah, setting the tone to at the beginning of the game. 4th and 5, opening drive. We know how the game played out, but at that point, there's a lot hanging in the balance. You're right at midfield. Look at how good Baylor's offense is against a defense that, in some parts, you're missing personnel. If you don't get that 4th and 5, there's a very good chance you go down 7-0 with them getting the ball after half. Like, the entire dynamic of the game changes, and yet you get it because of Trey'Dez Green. And then he finishes that drive with a touchdown. He comes on another touchdown later. He comes up with the uber athletic catch off of the batted ball that almost turns into a first down. And as Jake said, valuable tight end blocking as well. They did not treat him as a wide receiver. They treat him as everything this game. But another guy, this is a true freshman. How could you not be over the moon about the potential that he has next season, especially now that he has this sort of game. He already had, I think, a year in which it was easy for him to gain confidence, but what a cherry on top where everybody leaves, and so he is thrust into the, okay, you are now the guy role. You're no longer a freshman. It's the last game this season, and he validated that faith, and he validated that kind of promotion by the coaching staff. So, yeah, Trey'Dez Green really just... Oof. I mean, because again, the body is something you can't teach. It's kind of like Chris Hilton. No. Physically, he represents something that you almost never see. So to see him actually have the mental ability to be willing, like the mental toughness, to be willing to try to block, and then the mental ability to understand the playbook, to handle so many varied roles, like his potential is first round pick NFL type potential.
I think it was maybe at South Carolina. It was early in the season on the road. I don't remember exactly what game, but I'm sitting there talking with Joe Sloan, and Trey'Dez Green walks by. He's like, you want to know what first rounders look like? They look like that guy. And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, I played against him and with some, and he looks like he's ready for that already. And so, like, the staff's excited about him. They've been excited all year. And I remember talking with Joe, and he's like, look, the guy's going to continue to get better. He's already gotten better. Each and every week, each and every practice that we've had, each and every game, we'll see something where we're like, okay, he didn't have that, the prior game before. So the staff understands exactly where he's at. Now you got to go get a new tight end coach. And I do think that's going to be important to you. Not oftentimes do we talk a lot of tight end coach, even when Mike Denbrock, who was your offensive coordinator, was your tight end coach. We didn't talk about it a lot.
No.
But with that room, you're bringing in a transfer Sharp from Oklahoma. You're going to try to pair him with Trey'Dez Green. I do think it is going to be pivotal to bring in somebody with a lot of experience at that position to be able to teach Trey'Dez Green how to be a true 3-down. You got to be a Y sometimes. You're going to live, being an F as well, but you got to know how to be a Y if they ask you to be a Y. I do think that hire is going to be important.
Well, and certainly LSU, I think, has hired very well in the assistant ranks as of late. So hopefully they can keep that momentum going. When we get back here, oh my God, dude, will y'all shut the hell up about the staff picks? We picked LSU. No, you're a hoe. You picked LSU every game. Your picks don't mean anything.
Baylor.
Neither do mine. I picked LSU every single game.
Nope.
They don't mean anything.
I believed.
You picked LSU every game.
I believe that we would win. I believe that we would win.
And then you highlight on Twitter, so everybody like, oh my God, you are such a hoe, dude.
I told you, to be fair, when it was 14-0, I said, don't let it happen.
Why? You think I wanted Baylor to win?
Don't let it happen.
The staff picks don't mean anything.
Yeah,
Jake,
they mean something to me.
Jake, we picked LSU every single game.
Yeah.
How can your pick
and then
mean
you bailed.
anything?
You Christian bailed on them.
Oh my God. I stayed true. No, I did a pickup artist technique. I negged them.
No. I tried that with Arizona State.
I negged them.
That only counts when it's not your team.
No, that's not true.
Arizona State should have won.
I said, I don't know. I think this O-line, I don't know a lot of new weapons. I don't know if they can do it. And look, one of the O-line new weapons is great.
Get him in the chat.
Oh
don't
my
stop.
God. No, dude, Jake picked LSU every single game.
Yeah.
I picked LSU 11 games. Like, what are we,
but
12 games.
You're only as good as your last pick.
This is so stupid. This is so unbelievably stupid. And I know it's stupid to the point that it shouldn't get to me, but it has been pissing me off. So shut up. Like, there's nothing objective in these picks. We picked them every game.
Wait, you're honestly mad at this?
Yes, it's been annoying the hell out of me because it's just filling all of my mentions and everything. And I'm like, what do you, everybody's like, oh, Jake, he picked him every game, guys. That doesn't mean anything. He went, not what? What are we talking about? Mine don't either. I picked them all 12 regular season games.
But not in the postseason.
This is so stupid.
The best teams show up in the postseason, baby.
Oh, my God.
LSU, hold your L's up. You can't. You don't get to this week.
This is so dumb. This is so freaking. You shouldn't even be picking the game. That's a conflict of interest. I'm going to get you in some sort of legal trouble. You're calling the games. You can't pick them. You're like,
you got mega Tigers like Moscona and Hunt sitting in that chair, dude. Picking the Baylor Bears.
Oh, my God.
Not me.
Just doing a classic negging technique, Just tell them they, treat them like dirt. They stick to you like mud. So I was trying to do. Okay. Whew. Anyway, I said my piece. Y'all can keep it up. Just know, I think you're all dumb as hell.
I think you're a very smart, intelligent chat. I appreciate your interaction every single day. You're really, you're the backbone of the show, so we appreciate it. You got Hunt Palmer, Sick'em Bears in the chat.
I'm 8-5 in my LSU picks. Jake is 9-4.
Yeah.
Great.
One better. If you can add an inch, everybody do it.
That's true.
Bradley Del Pivito always told us that.
That's true.
Just one.
I do not put tomatoes in my gumbo, guys. Shut up. Damn it. I'm so
Let's just come back. Look.
Let's just go to break.
Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll just make fun of Hunt some more. I'm sure he did something. Including the take that he had that Arizona State didn't belong, and he was talking about Alabama and South Carolina.
Bad day for any of the SEC boys.
They certainly belong. They lost to Bielema.
Bad day for the SEC boys. All right, I said my piece. Y'all can keep it coming. Whatever. More Off the Bench coming up next.
Off the Bench.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Welcome back to more sports talk with some other stuff mixed in. Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All right. Welcome back to OTB. Final thoughts on LSU here, because obviously, I mean, we during every commercial break, we're just talking about Arizona State and Texas. So we have to get there eventually, but we haven't emptied the bag on the Tigers yet. And this we had last time talking about a LSU team before we enter the long dark of the offseason, and we're talking about the portal and projections and spring ball and whatnot. So I don't mind leaning into the game a bit here.
Also, some other news.
Chat, shut up.
Yeah, guys,
Shut
it's
up.
okay. It's okay. Look,
Shut up.
I'll get him back on our side. He went to the dark side with Moscona and Hunt.
No, that's not. That's
just
not.
a little bit. Maybe
And
it's because
Hanny.
Alondra wasn't
And
here.
Hanny.
Hanny
My
picked,
guy.
Hanny picked too.
I don't mean that to throw Hanny.
He picked Baylor too?
I'm almost positive. I don't mean that to throw it.
Yacht did too.
Oh no, that's not Hanny.
It was the Otter.
Otter.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm just saying.
You're supposed to be the expert, Jimmy.
Okay. Here we go.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Here we go.
You thought that Baylor
No. We
was
can't do
going
this
to go
again.
beat LSU?
We can't do this again. We can't do this again.
They don't have a single
look.
person that looks like
I'm
Trades Green. They don't have a single person that runs like Chris Hilton Jr. You think they got anybody with the ball skills of an Aaron Anderson?
I'm not going to sit back and hide from this on Hunt's staff picks. And when I hosted for you guys on Monday, I also picked the Baylor Bears.
Are you?
No, I'm serious. I did.
I didn't answer the email because
You were out.
I was on vacay, but I
I
was going
also
to pick
Am I
LSU.
the only son of a gun in this
you
building that picked LSU?
You were 100% the same. And look, it's one of those things like you can say I took the coward's way out. I absolutely did, because in my head I'm like, oh, LSU's going to win this game, but I was like, it makes more sense on air to pick the Baylor Bears, so that's what I did.
We were just doing a classic leg technique.
Sure, guys.
So I mean I did. I took the coward's way out, and it backfired on me.
Okay, we can't. I'm not. I can't go down this. I can't go down this road.
Why
anymore? The T does not stand for traitor.
Trader Bob
and T Bob, guys. That's not true.
I was very upset when I saw that my brethren, my partner in crime, my co-host.
What, that I didn't pick LSU for a 13th time?
Yeah. Now, in the games that you picked LSU, I mean, which one was crazy?
None, but my point is I can lay out my logic for why I thought they were going to win all 12 games, and they lost 4 of them. It's not great picks. It's not even against the spread.
I mean, you still, though, you're betting money line, you're probably making money.
You think?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think so.
So
I'm definitely not, because I finished 8-5.
All jokes aside,
not 9-4.
Because I feel betrayed. I'll tell you this:
So stupid. I hate you.
Being on the sideline like pregame, I think you've heard me talk about this before. So in 2019, now different game, obviously what it meant, but still. So 2019, LSU's about to play Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting on the sideline talking with some coaches for LSU, and they said, "Oh, man, they look smaller on tape, but they're tiny. We're about to roll them." That was a quote from an actual position coach. Go on the sideline for this Texas Bowl. Teams are both out there. They're warming up.
They did not look
there was an LSU coach that said, basically paraphrasing, "They're tiny. We're about to have some success."
Yeah.
So that gave me a lot of confidence being there, being on the field level, because
it is interesting though, right? Because the size difference is not unlike what you saw in Texas, Arizona State.
No,
and yet the small guy in that matchup
Right.
managed to damn near knock out Goliath.
Yeah, and when I say size, like I don't necessarily mean, just big, tall. I'm just talking about, arm size and arm length and just body type and just some different things.
Just look at the lines.
Yeah.
Just look at the lines.
Yeah, and you could tell that LSU was going to have. Now, it doesn't always win you the game, but yeah, it was definitely a different looking pregame warm up. So
wow, even JV Senior, who I had the pleasure of meeting at Whiskey and Wine, says it's time to watch Murphy, Sam, and Jody because of T-Bob's pick. I hope you're happy.
You probably like that.
I do because they're awesome. Even though now that it's not Christmas season, I probably won't be listening to as much as much for sure. Okay, real quick on Whit Weeks. The injury sucks, but it's not like imperiling next season.
Much
or anything.
better than it could have been.
Yeah, it could it's nothing god awful.
When he went down, there's a lot of LSU fans there. I mean, it went quiet.
Yeah. But the real story there is the team all coming out and so clearly showing what he means to the team, the entire team getting off of the sideline to go wish kind of the heartbeat of the defense and their brother well. And I loved a Rivers Huey tweet where she was like, how does Whit Weeks manage to look so charismatic even after getting carted off with a like in an air cast? Yeah. Like he still just looked so good looking, like, oh man. Oh, damn. Oh, man, this sucks.
He kind of, honestly, he actually kind of had a quote like that, apparently. Like when he was on the cart. Gosh, I'm trying to remember exactly.
Finish your game, man.
It was something like that. It was like, man, I ain't never been through some pain like that. That didn't feel good. Was like one of his quotes. But he was smiling as he said it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough son big ball.
I mean, that's a guy, and you could tell like it affected his brother Wes Weeks because I'm sure he thought like we all did. Oh man, this is an ACL, and then when you saw him grabbing his ankle, like
grabbing
oh man,
the ankle
this is
made
Achilles.
me feel. Okay, see, I never thought Achilles for some reason.
I did. I'm 1,000 feet away from it in the booth, and they weren't getting in. But I just saw him. I had the binoculars out, and I saw him grabbing the ankle. I'm like, oh man, I don't like where he's grabbing at first, but. Then I saw a smile on his face. I'm like,
not the
all right. I don't think
when people do the Achilles, you see that ghost white terror.
Yeah,
you see the blood drain from their face,
and not even necessarily from the pain, but just knowing what it's going to take for you to come back.
Yeah.
As well.
Oh, it's the worst. But so it looks like Whit's going to be fine. But
yeah, dislocated ankle. He'll require. I think a minor little surgery. And look, if I'm LSU, Whit, you ain't coming out here for spring practice.
Yeah, probably not. All right, when we get back, we're closing out hour one of OTB.
Off the bench.
Go to Main Event, guys. That's right, Main Event right here in Baton Rouge is your headquarters for fun. You want to do some professional level bowling? You want to go play some laser tag? How about a multi-level laser tag arena? We have the gravity ropes course. We've got an excellent food and drink menu, just newly revised, and of course, tons of arcade games. And right now, you mention Off the Bench when you go in. You help us because you show them, hey, the advertising's working. That's great, right? But you help yourself because you get a 30-minute free game card. Remember we had the family of 6 the other day? All 6 members got that game card. So bring your family in today. Mention OTB. Get that card. Shout out Main Event.
You can make it whatever you want to, right? If you want to if you're an individual, you want to go there and have some fun. Yeah, you can do it. You can bowl, you can play games, you can eat, you can do whatever. If you've got, a large family of 7 like I do, like you can go in there, you can have as much fun as you want to, have dinner there, stay there all night long, open late. Go check them out online, mainevent.com.
best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family.
New York City. You are now rapping with 50 Cent. You gotta love it.
Back to sports talk. Maybe. Off the bench.
Catch stunts in my 745. You drive me crazy, shorty. I need to see you and feel you next to me. I provide everything.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Closing out hour number 1 of the show. Hour number 2, we'll kick it off with the playoffs. I guess we can get into the Saints maybe a bit at some point today, although there's one Saint silver lining. Now, we didn't do a show. Well, we weren't here on Monday. Taylor, did y'all talk about, I mean, I guess you had to. Did y'all talk Saints Raiders?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I led with the recap. Dev came on. We chatted rest of the season. And I saw what you put in the doc. And, like, me and Dev talked about that exact thing. Like, you're playing spoiler to one of your 2 biggest rivals.
Yeah.
Like
so
one of them, like, the power of their season is entirely in your hands.
Yeah. So if you beat Tampa, Atlanta goes, or does Atlanta have to win?
Atlanta goes. Atlanta, because they have that tiebreaker twice over Tampa.
So if you beat Tampa on Sunday, the Falcons go to the playoffs. If you lose Tampa on Sunday, the Bucs go to the playoffs. So either way, you get to end one of your rivals' season, and most probably you will lose, and then the Falcons don't go. So it's even better, right? Like, because you would ideally probably want to pick Atlanta's season being ruined over that of Tampa Bay, and you will probably lose to Tampa Bay. But yeah, if you're looking for silver linings as a Saints fan in a completely lost year, well, maybe that's what it is. You know,
can I invite everybody to join the Bush League Bolts during the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. I always cheer for them from afar, thanks to our relationship.
Yeah, just come on over. I mean, the Cowboys aren't there, obviously. The Saints aren't there. We'll see if the Bengals can get in.
Chargers up to 10-6, huh?
Yeah. There's a way that they could play Houston in the first round. A couple of different scenarios play out. I think that would benefit them. That would behoove them, if you will. I'm going to miss work that day if that does happen. I'm going to go over there and watch that one.
Hell yeah!
But the Bengals, maybe they get in. That would be an exciting team certainly to watch with the way Joe and Jamar and that crew are playing. With the Commanders being in, certainly going to be rooting for them over in the NFC.
Taylor, why don't you give me a rundown of the kind of playoff, the spots that are still up for grabs and
seeding too, like maybe
what
has
needs
to happen.
Go ahead
for
and
the
put that
Bengals,
together.
I can tell you right now, they're on the outside looking in.
So they don't control their own destiny.
They gotta
No.
win.
They got to have the Jets beat the Dolphins.
They gotta have the Jets beat the Dolphins. Somebody else has to lose, and they have to win. So they're
No.
they're a
The
little
Colts
bit on
already
the
lost.
outside. Okay,
The
yeah,
Colts
you're
lost.
right.
Yeah,
to
Colts
the
are down to
Giants,
7-9
so
now.
they're done. The Dolphins have to lose to the Jets, and then of course the Broncos have to lose to the Chiefs.
Yeah. So okay, if the season ended today, the Broncos would have the 7th seed in the playoffs. They would be in, and the Bucs would be in if the playoffs ended today. Right now, it's Chiefs 1, Bills 2, Ravens 3, Texans 4, Steelers 5, Chargers 6, with that 7th spot still up for grabs. And then in the NFC, it's Lions 1, but that could change because they play the Vikings. So the winner of that game is going to get the 1 seed. Eagles 2, Rams 3, Commanders 6, Packers 7, Bucks right now at 8, but that could change with a loss to the Saints.
Please, Lord, let the Bengals make it and let Sean Payton and the Broncos blow it. That would make me so happy. Losing 3 in a row, the Broncos at the end of the year. Screw you, Sean.
Oh my gosh, I loved just watching him have to watch the Bengals win.
Off the bench.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Thursday, January 2nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect sunny skies with a high of 64 in hour 2 of today's show. We'll talk a little New Orleans Saints, and we'll look at the NFL playoff picture. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB here on 104.5 ESPN. Wherever you're listening, maybe you're listening on podcast, maybe you're listening in the future in Shreveport, maybe you're in Alec, wherever you are, thank you for joining us here this morning as we get back into the flow of things here, kicking off 2025. It is January 2nd, and LSU won their bowl game, and the college football playoffs just happened yesterday. We got two quarterfinal games yesterday. We will have a third one today. You've had 3 over the last couple of days. And let's just get to the big one. I mean, there's not much to say on Boise, Penn State. Basically played out exactly how you thought it would. I mean, Jake, you want to talk about looking physically different? That was probably the most physically different I saw two teams look this entire playoffs. Because even SMU, who's a bit smaller in some areas, he's like big in the front 7. I don't know. Boy, it was just, that game went about how you kind of thought that it would.
Yeah, and when you talk about styles making fights,
yeah,
well, what Boise does really well, it's also what Penn State does in the elite level. And now you're talking about a power Big Ten program and a Mountain West program who's a good football team, right? A lot of jokers out here are going to be like, blah, blah, blah. No, they're a good football team. And if they play maybe somebody else, maybe it's a different story. But with what you do really well to what they do really well, and they've got the size, the speed advantage, it was going to play out exactly like it did.
Yeah. And so, again, we were like, okay, this is another game in which we have seen the favorite look like the favorite, look like the better team. And then came Texas, Arizona State, and once again, it looked to be, on the surface, very lopsided. Texas just way bigger, stronger, faster, more NFL talent, all that sort of stuff. And I thought, because Arizona State had the best run defense in the Big 12, but it was still like just everybody wasn't that good at rush defense in the Big 12. Like, it was the best, but it was still like 120 yards a game. It was like 17 touchdowns. So it's like, okay, they've been okay there, but like Texas, the only way to beat Texas is by stopping the run, forcing Quinn Ewers to have to throw the ball. I don't think Arizona State can do it, and I think Texas will be able to, I think Texas is going to run all over him. It's going to set up Quinn. I think Texas rolls big. And as much belief in Cam Skattebo as Jake professed, and as much as I liked Skattebo this season, I thought it was going to be too much of a hill to climb. And it looked like for much of the game it was, but that is the unbelievable nature of Cam Skattebo. And make no mistake here, so when we did our immediate reaction show on Snaps, Jake, some Texas fans in the chat were like, we'll talk about Texas, give them their flowers. Texas is not the story here. Arizona State and Cam Skattebo are credit to Texas. I'll give you flowers for escaping, for making the huge plays in overtime, when you had to have them. There is credit there for surviving and advancing. But you took a team that is much more talented, had a big lead, and you damn near got beat by the closest football equivalent I've ever seen to Rocky Balboa. I mean, if Cam Scadaboo was not Rocky in this game, even down to losing the fight, right?
Right.
But like eating all of the damage, right? What a tank. Eating so much damage. I mean, the gif that was making the rounds on Twitter of the guy being jumped into the gang, and it's like every time Cam Scadaboo touches the ball. And it felt like that in the first half. But the crazy thing is, he's like a boxer who can just eat the punches, eat the punches. And instead of, but he can take it. And all of a sudden, the guy on the attack, he's exhausted. And then Cam starts to fight back. And he starts to pummel. And it's absurd to find the success that he ended up finding on the ground, to throw a touchdown pass, to have that incredible route on the go, and then the heady play, the body control to catch. I mean, I have never seen a player battle against the odds, against guys who are bigger, stronger, and faster, and just will his team to being just one play away from victory. And although they couldn't get it done, Cam Scadaboo saved college football and saved the playoff yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, great analogy with the Rocky Balboa stuff. That's exactly what it felt like. I mean, he's just going to tire you out. He's going to keep coming. He's not going to shy away from it. And look, Texas, they heard all the talk before the game. You could tell, like, every time they tackled him, they're chirping at him, and he's just taking it. He knows his game. He knows what he does really well, and he's just going to keep on coming, keep on fighting, even when he drinks too much water too fast and starts throwing up on the sideline. And Kenny Dillingham, his coach, said, all right, puke and rally. Let's go. But, man, how fun was that to watch? I mean, you talk about somebody that wanted it as much as anybody could possibly want it. He just continues to come back. And I was so glad that the nation got to see Cam Scadaboo, because you've heard me talk about him all season. You've talked about him all season. Like, he's done that all year long. And what's most impressive to me is when you play a team and Jordan Tyson's not in the game, he's your top receiver.
Yeah.
Now, Sam Levitt was awesome. He's great, slippery, and made some throws, and he's going to be a really good player.
The third down scramble.
It was all
on the
15.
third and 13 or third and 15.
Whatever
it was one or the other.
I mean, he's a good player, so I don't want to take anything away from him, but everybody had 4 circled.
Yes.
Highlighted,
Yeah.
had a star by his name the entire lead into this game, but it didn't matter because his will was going to get him to exactly the point that he got to. And it was so much fun to watch that guy just go out there, try to put the team on his back. You said it, running, throwing, catching. And that route, he gave him a little stick.
That's what I'm saying. He gave him a little jab step, broke him down.
It was a nice over-the-shoulder catch, man. So we have the ability, and always blessed to do it, to go down to Mobile for the Senior Bowl every single year. He's going to be playing in the Senior Bowl. Can't wait to just, pick his brain on his mindset and, how he kind of goes about his business, prepares for a game, because he was ready for the spotlight. He was ready for everybody to target him, right? Because he was the star player's only target that they actually called in the game. We'll get to that maybe a little bit later. But he's an NFL player. He's a Sunday player.
With the intangibles that I saw yesterday afternoon, and just the sheer drive and grit. Yeah, I'm not going to doubt Scadaboo.
I think Dan Orlovsky had this tweet. Against the number 1 defense in America on a play-by-play basis, Cam Scadaboo led Arizona State in rushes, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, receptions, receiving yards, and passing touchdowns.
So, again, it was as legendary of a performance as you'll ever see, and it breaks my heart that they could not come up with that 4th and 13 stop. I mean, it's right there when we talk about the Georgia Tech-Georgia game. Who knows when you'll be back in that position. I think Arizona State's future is very bright, don't get me wrong. But to be right, and you had Scadaboo talking that noise directly into the camera after scoring the overtime touchdown, Jake. Looking straight into the camera, talking crap. It looked like the defense was going to come through. And that's where you credit Texas. And you credit Quinn Ewers for finding a way. Chase Daniel, relax. Okay, he had a breakdown of it on Twitter, just showing how Quinn checked it. Now, to your point, I didn't realize this. So they ran the same blitz that they did before the false start, so Quinn had time to think about all this.
And I like the aggression, by the way, of Arizona State. a lot of people are like, why would you bring that many people
speed them up
in that situation? I think because you have a Quinn Ewers who, if you let him sit back there and get comfortable, he can make every single throw.
Yes.
And credit to Texas and their offensive line for picking it up, but I like trying to speed him up there. It was a hell of a route by the receiver. It was bad technique by the safety, and I get it. Look, you had an eye violation. You're looking at the slot guy. He goes out. Maybe you carry yourself a little bit too much to the out. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is, you're a single high safety, right? So you've got anything over the top there. You got in a bad spot. Great, though, by Quinn. Hell of a route by the receiver. But I like actually being aggressive for Arizona State. But credit to Quinn and Texas for getting a look at it and then adjusting to it.
The same calls are the ones that got you there in the first place, right? So I'll just read, because, again, this is where I credit Texas. I'll read Chase's tweet here. It says, Quinn Ewers was the difference maker in the game for Texas. Biggest play of the game was when he checked to cover zero beater on the 4th and 13 touchdown pass. Checked to a post route of max protection, then slid the offensive line the correct way, threw a dart, season on the line. All very true. Credit to Quinn. Why, though, I say Texas is not the story is because this is not a game in which the team that played better won. Texas was lucky to win this game. How about this? Here is, and the final box score is still very lopsided, Arizona State, but it is a bit tinged with some real last-minute stats coming in thanks to overtime and whatnot. Here is the box score after Arizona State tied it at 24 apiece with less than 5 minutes left in the game. And at this point, Cam Scadaboo alone has more total yards than the entire Texas team. Here's the box score. 25 first downs for the Devils to 10 for Texas, Jake. 25 to 10. 442 total yards to 210. Arizona State had thrown for 270. Texas had thrown for 160. Arizona State had run the ball for 172 yards. Texas had run it for 48. Arizona State had the ball for 37 minutes. Texas had it for 17. Arizona State had run 82 plays. Texas had run 40. Mm-hmm. I mean, that is as dominant and as lopsided of a box score as you will find if you look in the entirety of this college football season. And yet they end up kind of. So the impressive part to me is not just the unbelievable heroic comeback, to the performances. Like my narrative for the game before that just unbelievable surge from Arizona State was that, man, this sucks because Arizona State actually dominated the game and just missed too many opportunities. Yeah. And that still ends up costing them. But that's the crazy part. They dominated the game against a Texas team that they absolutely should not have been able to. So it's a credit to Dillingham. It's a credit to Scott, but it's a credit to that defense. It's a credit to everybody on that team. And it's a validation of things like the regular season mattering and talent composite not being the end-all, be-all. And you still can be, the whole can be greater than the sum of its parts. And Arizona State proved that in a playoff, so that desperately needed to be proven.
Mitchell inside the chat, they were losing by 14 the entire game, though. But did you just listen to what T-Bob was saying? They had their opportunities, and they played so well that they kept it within 14, even though they missed their chances, even though they had a blocked field goal, even though they got down to the 2-yard line and got stopped. Because, look, the play calling was not creative down there. It just wasn't. They were very creative getting to that point, and then you could tell all year they've been able to line up in ace formation, hand it off to Cam Scadaboo, and score touchdowns. They tried that. It did not work. Now, they adjusted as the game went along. And also, they got back to it because they had leaned on that Texas defense. They leaned on him and they broke him a little bit. Then they got back to themselves. But at that point, they had not done that. You don't love the play calls down there, right? You kind of changed who you were from the 20s to when you got inside the 20s.
Credit, that's another thing that you could give Texas roses on. Red zone defense matters.
It does.
Right? And it's why the defense was not great between
and
the 20s.
Typically, for the red zone, a running football team usually plays a little bit better because everything's so condensed down there if you're a passing team. And so it actually favored Arizona State going into the matchup there in the red area, but they weren't able to get it done. Again, play calls left you scratching your head a little bit there. But, yes, Texas did a nice job of stopping them there. But think about all the opportunities. And normally when you have those opportunities, you don't take advantage, man. You just go away. But they played so well that they kept it within 14, and then they started to make the plays that they weren't making beforehand, and then became a tied football game. And so, yeah, Arizona State can go back, and now they can watch that tape, and they're going to be kicking themselves, but they also can go back and watch that tape and know that they belonged in that game. And they're going to have a bright future. Their head coach, Kenny Dillingham, is from Tempe. He went to Arizona State. It would take a lot to get him out of there, so he is bought into the program. He just signed a new 5-year deal. Levitt, their quarterback, was a redshirt freshman. He's already announced he's going to be back at Arizona State. They got a lot of pieces of this team going to be back. Now, the biggest piece is gone, but you've got a lot to build on there in Tempe. And, man, what a game it was from them to be able to, just take haymaker after haymaker, still be standing up. They throw a haymaker, and then, look, Texas found a way. Credit to them as well.
To overcome that god-awful start where Texas looked to be 30 points better than you. Just so much faster, so much more. They came out there, immediate touchdown, punt return touchdown, like you don't even belong in the same field. And then not just to eat that and survive, but to eat it and dominate, make tons of crucial errors, and still get to that 4th and 13. Again, I agree with JV in the chat. That is a movie-level loss. Like, that is a Hollywood narrative. Friday Night Lights, Rocky, where you celebrate the loser who, against all odds, almost toppled him and just couldn't quite. Little Big League, just couldn't quite get it done.
Oh, Little Big League. King Griffey Jr.
I know, says someone. Exactly, they're right. Going against the big bad Mariners.
Yeah.
We're just the plucky twins. What do we have? We have heart. We have grit. Just not quite enough.
To your point, T-Bub, you brought this up going into the Big 12 championship
We have Gary Busey.
game.
Sorry.
And it wound up not mattering in the Big 12 championship game.
I don't know. Maybe so, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's Rookie of the Year.
My bad. We don't have Gary Busey.
Because people stepped up, but they really missed Jordan Tyson in this game.
Dude,
when they keyed in on Cam Scatterby, like Sam Levitt had nobody. Like, because on those had to have it plays, like Texas went to Matthew Golden and he bailed him out time and time again. They didn't have that guy to go to on the outside. They had him all year. I mean, Mateer, the tight end, had 2 or 3 really big drops, and that had been an issue for him all year. But like Jordan Tyson would have helped them in this game. He is
6'4", 255, and he needed to play like it. That was frustrating to watch the Arizona State tight end. Like lackadaisical as well. It was weird, man. Just like lazy hands.
Well, even
it didn't affect him when he dropped.
Lazy, right? Because like he was getting open, but like he just didn't look like he wanted to be out.
And then if you're Sam Levitt, it's like, hey, bud, I've trusted you 4 times. I ain't coming back to you a 5th, and so it takes away a receiver kind of in your progression, man. My wife is like, look, if you yell at number 7 one more time, I'm going to ask you to leave. I'm like, well, if he just give effort. If he's 6'4", 255.
Yeah, come on, dude.
You know what I would have done if the good Lord blessed me to be 6'4", 255? Get in the game.
Okay, so I want to get into the targeting here in a minute. But yeah, on the Jordan Tyson front, I mean, that's a guy who accounted for 70% of the yards or maybe it was the catches in the regular season. It was an absurd, like, how many teams in this entire college football playoff would be okay if you took their second best player off the team. And as good as Levitt is, Jordan Tyson was the second best player on this team to Cam Scatterby. So shout out to the Demons. I think we were all cheering for you except for Alondra. Alondra, we have not given you your time to represent the Hookers. So how did you feel about your Longhorns? Hook 'em.
Well, I just think I get what you're saying, but I just think it's funny that Texas won and we're like, go Arizona State. Like, I understand why you're saying it, but you're just such a hater that you can't just be like, shout out Texas, they won.
I don't hate Texas like he does, and still, like, I get why we're all talking about Arizona State, because it is just like
that's the story.
That very rare time that you can celebrate a loss because it was such a fight, and that's why, like, Gary Stokan gives him Cam Scatterby the MVP, and he's like, hey, we ain't never done this before, but you can't be denied. So credit to Texas, and they're still moving on. They still get to play, but I do agree with T. It is that rare time that you're going to celebrate Arizona State over Texas because of how it played out.
The movie's about Rocky.
Yeah.
And that's like Texas are the big bad guys. They are King Griffey Jr. in Little Big League. They win in the end and they advance because they are better, they're more talented, all that sort of stuff. But the story here are the lovable losers. But guess what? Because Texas advances, they'll be right back into the prime time. You know, they still have the ability to write their own legend. Maybe this ends in a national championship for Texas. And then you look back on that Quinn Ewers play, and it becomes one of the greatest plays in school history.
Right.
Well, they found a way to win a game that they shouldn't have, and that makes you a better football team. Like, to your point, you rattled off those stats. Arizona State doubled you up statistically in every category. You were down to a 4th and 13. After you scored that to go into overtime, you scored, and then you got the ball and you scored again on the first play. And at that point, it was over. Like, Texas limped into overtime. Arizona State did not, and Texas still found a way to win, and that's going to make you a better team.
Yeah, even got that 2-point conversion, too.
Yeah.
To really just
when they got the 2,
drive home the fact that the game was over.
Yeah. I agree.
Go ahead.
Look, now they got to face a team that's as hot as anybody in America. Ohio State.
Oregon, and we haven't talked about that yet, but that's crazy. I don't think
there's nothing to talk about in that one. The Rose Bowl.
I mean, Jeremiah Smith is something to talk about.
Oh yeah, but we already knew that.
I said it during the break. Like, Quinn didn't have a good game, but he stepped up when he needed to.
And that
I don't think he played. I don't think he played bad though.
It wasn't terrible, but it's it's just like every game that Quinn has, where it's like
it's the one play that's like, what are you doing?
Yes,
the interception he had in this one.
Yeah,
and like Golden is freaking.
He's a beast.
He's a beast. And Gunnar Helm is pretty good too. Anytime you needed something, like Helm was open.
There's no doubt. He's one of the better tight ends in the country.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think T-Ball was like, panic time. Yeah, I was like, put Arch in.
Yeah, I know. Alondra tweeted, put Arch in.
No, let me get some
But it's like 24-24. Put him in.
Yeah.
I'm done with Quinn.
I wanted him to run a little bit. That's it.
Well, you think Arch makes that play on 4-13? I don't know about that.
I don't know. I don't
the
think
answer's
so.
no.
But
I don't
that's
think
what
so.
I'm saying. Like,
I think that's a play of experience.
Quinn stepped up when he needed to step up, and so shout out him.
Again, I think there are areas in which you give Texas their roses.
Yeah.
But they are not the story. Even though we'll talk about the targeting, get to the other games when we get back. More OTB coming up next.
Off the bench.
All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Go there today if you want to start your car buying journey. Kick off 2025. Again, we have the excellent inventory search feature right there on the website where you could search by like make and model, type of vehicle that you want. You can look up keywords. You can look from a budget standpoint and take advantage of many of the holiday deals that we got going on right now. Maybe you want to join me in the minivan gang, get yourself a nice Toyota Sienna. Maybe you want a luxury SUV like Sequoia. You want a big old truck like a Tundra, maybe a work truck. Either way, it's all there at All-Star Toyota, right off of Airline and Goodway. Go to All-Star Toyota, BatonRouge.com today.
Yeah, when you go to the website, always remember, buying new, leasing, and renting, everything is available to you, right? You're not going to get that anywhere else. So no matter what you see as far as, new options, and they've got so many different options for different needs, you can also rent that. So if you've got a trip coming up, per day rental prices, call Miss Lisa Sessions in that rental department today to schedule everything. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, Our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen.
Me again. And I'm back.
Back to sports talk. Maybe. Off the bench.
All right, so welcome back to OTB. We continue to talk about the playoff games. The one thing we didn't get to from Texas Arizona State was the targeting that was targeting, but was reviewed and not called targeting. As it is 3rd and 15. Levitt drops back, throws the ball. It gets tipped, and
which doesn't. It's not like a
no,
holding
it's not
call.
like an interference or
it,
anything.
yeah.
No, it doesn't.
I know you knew. I just laid it out for.
But it gets tipped, and then in the tackle, it's just a big helmet hit. Like, it was one of those deals where as it's being reviewed, basically everybody is saying, okay, this is for sure targeting. And at the time, it probably would have set Arizona State up.
You'd been on the 35, first down 35 with timeouts, and
they would have had a good chance to kick a game-winning field goal.
Yeah.
Here's the hit right there if you're watching on youtube.com/1045 ESPN. Now, he didn't, okay, so here's my thoughts on the play. I thought it was targeting. In the end, I am not upset that the refs did not call this targeting and did not decide the game with the targeting. And I think Arizona State validated that decision and still finding a way to fight back and get within one play of winning the game. And the win would have been much more satisfying. Like, the outcome was much more satisfying for everybody in general that targeting was not called here, even if you believe that. Like, that's my personal take. I thought it was targeting, but I'm not mad that they reviewed it and didn't call it.
You can't, and I get not wanting a game like this decided on, I get that. But a penalty is a penalty. And it was targeting. And for Arizona State, they get the ball at the 35-yard line going in with enough time for them to run their style of offense, get the clock down, make Texas use their timeouts at worst. And then you get the opportunity to go win the football game. In that moment, you don't even – overtime's not even a factor because you're not getting to overtime. And, look, y'all know me. Like, I love the game as physical as it possibly can, but – you can't pick and choose when you call the penalty based off the situation. If it's a penalty, it's a penalty. And that was. And look, Taff, I love him. I love watching him play. He's as physical as any safety out there. Both those safeties for Texas are. But that is a penalty. And Arizona State, I think if they get that, I think they win the game. But even more than any of that, T, right? Because you're right. It ended up being an awesome game. Arizona State had their chances. I'm going to go back, and you know what I'm going to say. I need that head official right here, and I need the rules official that reviewed it right here. And I need a microphone here, and I need one right there.
Wait, you knocked you unplugged your mic.
And that's what I need, okay? I need 2 microphones behind all of the people involved, okay? That's what I need. And I need not a pool reporter. I don't need a single pool reporter. I need a room full of reporters. And I need them to sit there, and I need him to tell me, here's what I saw. And maybe he gives me the explanation that I'm like, okay, I can live with that. But I need him on the field. Here's what I saw. Okay, Mr. Replay Official. On the replay, here's what I saw. Here's how it played out for me. Here's how I got to my ruling. And if you have that, maybe we can live with it. Or maybe we get more angry. I don't know, but we'll never know. I don't understand why we can't get that done. You sit here, he sits there, explain to me what you saw. Because if I fumble, I got to tell you why. I had bad ball security. Ball popped out. If I throw an interception, read the coverage wrong, threw it to the wrong guy. If I have a missed tackle, I ducked my head, didn't wrap, it's my fault, I'll take it. If a coach makes a bad call in a game, I should not have called it. Here's what I was thinking. Here's how it played out. Every single person involved in a win or a loss has a microphone in front of them, and we have to explain it. A lot of times, we barely have enough time to get our pads off. Sometimes we're in a towel trying to hurry up and get out of the locker room because 30 microphones are going to be in front of you. I've got to do it. The coaches got to do it. Now we're all getting paid to be here. Both these guys are getting paid to be here too, the officials and the replay officials. Why in the world can we not have them sit down after a game and go over, not every call. We're not trying to go over every call, but if a game has an impactful play like that, why in the world can we not just hear from them? Why can't they explain what they saw? The UFL's got it figured out. We get a chance to listen to what they're talking about. Even if you don't want to sit them after the game, let me hear. Let me hear what the discussion is. How did you get to your ruling? Because again, it might behoove you. It might benefit you. You might say something, I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. But we'll never know. I don't understand why every single one of us that is on the field outside of the referees and the replay official have to answer questions to how they got there or why something happened, but they never, ever have to.
So, I actually agree in this case. Although, again, like I always say, I understand why they don't, but I agree in this case. I would love an explanation. Here's the only thing I would say, and I'm not going to die on this hill, and so I don't really care to debate it, but my take on the if it's a penalty, it's a penalty, if it's not thing is that targeting is so subjective. It's so much gray area.
But that's not gray area.
That's what I'm saying. I think you could like, you know how lawyers, if you allow them enough gray area to play around and they can form any argument, I could say, because it feels like this call, they've called targeting very much more based on intent. I would say he came with his face up. He didn't launch. He didn't hit with the crown of the head. His intent was not malicious. Like a defense attorney that's defending someone guilty, like I think there's enough subjectivity there where that would be the argument that I would craft. But again, I don't. That's my opinion. And if you think I'm wrong, I would just say, I would cede the day because I'm not going to sit here and try to convince anybody. But that's what I imagine their kind of logic was behind not calling.
I can't get behind it being a penalty every time unless the game's in the line.
Well, but I don't know that it has this year. Maybe it's a bad rule overall. But it does feel like this year they've done a better job of taking the intent into it and not being so strict. Like there's a 0% chance that Devin White gets ejected this season versus a few years ago.
I mean, the hit on Jaden Daniels wasn't a penalty last year, so I understand what you're saying, right? Because, I mean, that was a bad one, and typically that is called. It has gone down. I get all of that. But to what the rule is, again, Taft ducks the head, crown of the head to the side of the helmet, and that gets called 99.9% of the times. It's just like you can't allow the situation to affect what the call is. And if it's holding, it's holding. If it's a chop block, it's a chop block. If it's pass interference, it's pass interference. And, this was targeting. But again, if we had access to what the conversations were, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. It'd be a different conversation. We would be having the conversation of, hey, the replay official says this is why it was not a targeting. There was A, B, and C. but we won't know A, B, and C. And then when they put, a referee with one pool reporter who's asking questions that really only benefit one side, we just don't know. And as somebody, you've been in that situation too. It's not just me playing in the NFL. It happens in college. When you messed up.
No, I agree. I would love to hear from the
you
refs.
had to answer questions why you messed up. No matter what it is. We've all been, if you've played at a high level, you've all been there.
Yeah.
And it sucks. You're still mad about it. You still got your blood pumping. You still have your eye black on. But you got to answer the questions because that's just part of it. In the NFL, you get a 10-minute cool-off period. Well, honestly, once you get in the locker room, the head coach is talking for 8 minutes. So you get about 2 minutes to cool off. And it's like, hey, it is what it is. And here they come. You see them coming in the locker room, cameras on the shoulder, microphone in hand. And you're like, all right, well, here we go. I just wish we had that same accountability for the people who are making the calls on the field because they get paid. They have a job, just like our jobs to go out there and play football. And I just think that it's something where you would leave, all the doubting of, the fix is in. And I saw that over Twitter. It's a Big Ten official crew. It's an SEC. I don't know any of that. I'm not engaging in that. I don't think there's a fix in. But we would get exactly how they got there, which I just think would help so much of what we're talking about.
When we get back here on OTB, we got one final playoff game to get to. We can also preview tonight's, this afternoon's Sugar Bowl. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to Trash Rangers, trashrangers.com. I ran into a bit of a disaster, guys. Now, remember, if you live in Livingston or Ascension and you actually get to choose who does your residential trash pickup, you can choose Trash Rangers. And you'll get it more efficient, more reliable, just better overall service because they're local, they're part of the community, so they give a damn so much higher than these national companies where you're just in numbers. But they also text you the night beforehand that, hey, we're coming tomorrow. Remember, it's your day. Put out the cans. So you never forget again. You know who doesn't? Again, these national companies don't give a damn. So I forgot to put my trash out a couple times ago. And so here I am shamefully at 10 o'clock last night bringing bags to neighbors' trash cans that they've always put out. Like some sort of fat, sneaky trash burglar dumping my extra bags into all the cans that I can find on my street, feeling like I'm on somebody's Ring camera, freaking them out. Go to trashrangers.com today.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps are held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play.
Welcome back to the 9th-ranked morning sports show in America. Off the bench.
Welcome back to OTB. Yeah, it's a weird thing, the trash thing. Because, like, why would, why did I feel like I was committing such a crime or an invasion of people's personal space when I was putting bags in their cans, which are already out on the road?
Right.
They're not going to touch them again. It's not like you care about the trash, but I'll be damned if I didn't feel as if I was basically breaking and entering.
A little B&E?
Yeah, a little B&E. Desperate times, desperate measures. I'm like Aladdin out here stealing apples.
I think it's because I think it's because like when people see you, like you mentioned on the Ring doorbell cameras, actively dumping your trash in other people's cans, they're probably thinking, what the hell is in T-Bob's trash bags?
Right. Like, am I dumping incriminating evidence into your trash can? I thought about that as well, right? Because if you were to commit a crime, that would be something that you would maybe try to do.
Go through the trash.
That's kind of dumb though, because then that is evidence, right? Like you'll be on a person's camera. I was dumping trash bags into their.
I was actually going to say, if you're listening to this show and you live in T-Bob's neighborhood, because T-Bob does a lot of things like out in his neighborhood. They watch baseball games. He goes for walks. So everybody knows, and T-Bob's one of one. So everybody knows that T-Bob lives there. If you have him on your Ring camera, can you please email it to Alondra or Taylor so we can get that footage? Because it's on there. So if you live in his neighborhood, check your Ring cameras today, please. We need to see that.
I think I ended up hitting 3 different cans.
You're for sure.
3 cans.
On somebody's Ring
3
camera.
cans was the final tally.
Not to be a narc, but this is definitely illegal.
For sure.
Yeah,
that's
I
what I'm
didn't think
saying.
it was. I just looked it up. I was like,
but it's like weird. But like, why?
Right. It feels like
it feels like
is.
it would be.
I didn't think it was. Just looked it up.
If you put something to the street, I'm like, hey, this is whoever gets here first. Come get it.
Yeah.
So you would feel like it would be almost kind of that situation.
Yeah, like it's if it's in the street, it's kind of public domain at that point.
Yeah, I mean, that's how people treat it.
Out
there, like, hey, go get it.
Yeah, people always put. That's what we all do. You put it out in front of the house for a couple of days, and
somebody comes and grabs it.
Something that somebody might want. Like I saw a mattress this morning. I was kind of,
ew, I would never get a mattress.
It was like a kid's mattress. It looked nice. It looked nice. I was like, oh man,
you know, there's pee on there.
But to be fair, I did start wondering why are they throwing it out. I wonder what took place in that mattress.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get fined up to $5,000.
What?
So if you do have it on a Ring camera, I actually implore you to delete it.
No, I'm sending it into us.
Come after me legally, and you'll be dealing with Gordon.
That's right.
Okay, so that's all I'm saying.
Gordon,
watch out. Yeah,
Gordon, he's in the trash can.
You're gonna call and be like, Gordon, I know you're typically an accident attorney. Well, this was an accident.
Yes, I need a defense attorney.
He did accidentally forget to put his trash cans out. So
well, that's because I don't have trash rangers. Because I'm not
told
allowed to
y'all,
have trash rangers.
I know, me neither. During the break, I forgot. I saw all my neighbors' cans out. And I'm like, if there's one thing my wife will get mad at is if I don't put the trash out. So I had to put the car in park, hit the slow jog up to the can, take the can. Then you realize, oh man, this is the day they pick up extra stuff as well. You see 2 big cardboard boxes from Christmas. Had to jog back, grab those. I mean, it was a whole situation. But if I would have had a text message,
I missed the Christmas pickup in between. So this was trash accumulated through Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, I would have been sleeping on the
amount
couch.
of boxes, the amount of bags, it was quite insane. Quite insane.
Gordon wouldn't touch this case with a 10-foot pole.
No, guys, I did not forget to put out the trash because I picked Baylor. I forgot to put out the trash before I picked Baylor. Thank you very much.
I do feel somewhat bad that I had to involve T-Bob into the slander because I didn't know it was going to upset him this much. Maybe that's why he was a little quiet on the text thread. He was mad at me.
He was a little quiet.
I do apologize.
No, the only hint that I gave of it in the text thread, I texted Jake because I thought about saying something public, but I didn't want to take a misstep. That's why I texted you. Did you pick LSU every game this season? Just kind of an innocuous little text I was sitting out there that I just wanted to confirm before I said something publicly.
Yeah. It was pointed more at Hunt and Moscona, and my teammate had to catch a stray.
Look, I will never apologize if I do anything that Jimmy Ott also does. The Ott father is a leading light in my life.
Okay, I thought you were about to say gambling. I'm like, your co-host over here is not bad at gambling.
No, I trust the Ott father with my life.
I just don't do it publicly from casinos every day, which is great. Otter's a legend. I mean, where the surf meets the turf, right?
Yeah.
Little Delmar action.
Delmar, baby.
But,
Ooh, I watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? That reminded me because of the character's name.
Yeah.
I love that movie. Great movie.
Great movie. Another John Goodman scene-stealing cameo as the Cyclops.
Yeah.
It's like one of those.
Absolutely fantastic.
Sometimes, like William Hurt was nominated for like supporting actor for being in a movie like Eastern Promises. Like in it for like 5 minutes, but he still got nominated.
I need to rewatch Eastern Promises. I saw it with my mom back in the day.
Oh, you and Teresa at Eastern Promises. That's
and I mean, it's got a lot of fully nude swinging meat fight scenes.
Yeah, it does.
Like opens with like a sex worker being murdered. It was just like not a great movie.
Did you see it in the movie theater across from Texas Day Brazil?
No.
Is that what gave you the inspiration? No.
I would have seen it at the rave. At that time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, me too.
All right, when we get back, let's close an hour. We still got to talk about Ohio State.
Who?
Off the bench.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties, so retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable.
Welcome in to the best morning sports-ish show around. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. So the last playoff game that we haven't talked about yet is Ohio State-Oregon in a deeply ironic twist. The game in which we were most looking forward to as maybe being the best, the most evenly matched. Two teams that had an absolute instant classic in the first matchup. Two teams that were, by most accounts, thought to be arguably the most two complete teams in this college football playoff, like most talent, least amount of holes, and, well, did not play out that way. It actually ends up being the biggest blowout of the entire playoff as Jeremiah Smith and Ohio State hopped on him early and never let up, going up 31-0 in what basically felt like 5 minutes. Yeah. Chip Kelly looking like old school Chip Kelly. Again, like there's a lot to talk about if you're a Buckeye fan here. To me, the main stories are twofold, maybe threefold. First, Jeremiah Smith is probably the best receiver in the entire country already as a true freshman. And for all the talk of him or Ryan Williams from earlier in the year, remember Ryan Williams had the big moments against Georgia early on, so he gave him the early nod, but Jeremiah Smith easily wins that battle against anybody that you want to put him up against. The amount, like, he can just do everything. He's a physical freak. He's got incredible hands. He can run all the way. He said before the game that when he got one-on-ones, he was just going to smile because he knew he would win. And then he went out there and he did it. Like, Jeremiah Smith is a Megatron-level talent. He's only a true freshman. Remember, he's the fastest to ever lose the black stripe when he got to Ohio State. Like, so much hype. And hype surpassed somehow.
Which is so hard to do.
Yes.
When you have as much as he came into the season with. From the moment he stepped on campus, too. And, you know, I do shows with a couple of former Buckeyes, and, you know, they were like, you know, you kind of lose the black stripe guy kind of quick. We saw a lot of great players that still had that thing on, you know, up until fall. It's like, well, now you know why.
Yeah. So he was otherworldly. What does he finish with, like 8 for 170 and 2 tuds or something?
He could have finished with whatever he wanted, to be honest.
Look, Will Howard, very validating for Howard. Again, the guy's had one bad game this entire year.
Yeah.
And he continues to make Ryan Day look really good for taking that bet on him and bringing him in to quarterback this team. And really, speaking of Ryan Day, that's the third and maybe the biggest point. What a weird year for Ohio State. You didn't win the Big Ten. You didn't even beat a bad Michigan team. And yet now you look like the overwhelming favorite to win the national championship.
Yeah.
Ryan Day is currently taking the one exit ramp he had to everybody not yelling at him.
I said on Twitter he should have came out, after the first half and into the second half with a gold chain on and a cigarette hanging out of his mouth.
Yeah.
That would have been the play for me.
Yeah.
With all the things that he's had to hear about himself and his coaching abilities. And sometimes it works out that way. You didn't even play for the Big Ten. You lost to your rival for a fourth straight year. But none of that's going to matter, or it shouldn't matter. I know it does maybe to some Buckeye fans. If you go win a national championship, and you're going to win a national championship if you do finish it with a Final Four that's going to have blue bloods, Texas, Penn State, and one of Georgia or Notre Dame. So it's going to be earned as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, without a doubt. I mean, you just beat 13-0 Oregon. And what a weird year for Oregon. I can, trust me, guys, I can empathize, right? Undefeated season, win the conference. The first matchup with the other best team in the conference is an instant classic in which you barely scrape out a win. You get rematched when it matters, and you get blown out, and nobody cares about you. I'm sure in a few years they'll have some reunion celebrating a conference championship, but it doesn't mean, you're 13. It doesn't mean it in the end. It sucks.
Hurts.
It sucks for them. But credit to Ryan Day and the Buckeyes looking like the odds-on favorite. All right, when we get back, big deal. No big deal. Munchies, keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win. Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
On detail or a ceramic coating, call 225-478-4805. You won't be disappointed.
Do you plan to travel, work part-time, or move somewhere warmer when you retire? At Edward Jones, we understand that no two retirement paths are the same. Contact your local financial advisor today.
In Baton Rouge, call Tyler Juneau. In New Roads, call Dean Martin. And in Gonzales, call Gene Fremo.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's a 9 a.m. here on Thursday, January 2nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect sunny skies with a high of 64 in hour 3 of today's show. Well, a big deal or no big deal at 9 a.m. LSU Executive Chef Michael Johnson hops on the show for our Munchie segment at 9:15. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Dude, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome into hour number 3 of OTB. Hope everyone's having a good morning thus far. Again, we've tried not to be insensitive. We've tried to just be an escape from some of the brutal tragedy and realities that have taken place in our beloved state and city of New Orleans. And we continue to pray for everybody mentally, physically affected, and we'll continue to do so. Coming up on the final hour of this show, we'll probably end up previewing the Sugar Bowl a bit as it's taking place this afternoon. We got big deal or no big deal real quick right here. We got Munchies, Chef Michael Johnson. So it's going to be a fun close today. It feels good to be back with the entire squad, setting our intention for 2025. Tell you what, hitting up that Evolve class this morning was a rough one. And it's not like I didn't do, I got a couple workouts in over the break, but I mean, kind of like a week of not waking up at 4:30 a.m. and getting after it. And geez, dude, I could feel all that pastelaia with every step that I took on that treadmill. I felt like I was just breathing like a morbidly obese man, but we made it. The only way to get back is to push through. So we made it. Trying to get back into rhythm here in 2025. Unfortunately, too, probably the guilt-free gluttony has to stop today as well.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah.
Because it is so nice during the holiday.
Yeah.
Just to stuff your face and feel justified in doing so. Like you don't have to feel bad about it.
I do want to say and point out, last time we did a show together, who knows when that was, but you were about to go to an event, a James Bond themed party.
Yes.
And I want to give you your flowers.
Oh,
you looked incredible, man.
It's a great suit. It's a great tux. Shout out Pierce Bespoke. They do a good job. They do a really good job.
I was like, look at my boy Bob.
I know.
Here.
It was. I mean, look, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't happy with the picture as well.
Yeah.
It's also the suit that people gave you a lot of, or it's a different suit, but it's both Pierce Bespoke. It's like the suit that I wore to the company party. Me and Alondra took a picture that I think we both looked very good in, and people give me credit there.
I need to call Pierce.
And look, it's done. Certainly. Look, I mean, I feel great. I like my body right now. Shout out Evolve. I love it, but But the suit is also, let's not pretend like the suit's not doing work there.
The suit's great. But I got to, look, you're working your butt off.
Yeah.
Shout out to T-Bob.
I think it's kind.
Even though he still picked Baylor, you look great. You did look, all right. Don't let the joke take away from the fact that you did look good. You're working hard.
It was a fun party, dude.
I bet it was.
My God.
I bet it was. That's a great theme. That's a great theme. I might steal that.
Very fun party. I don't think we got home to the babysitter till about 2 a.m.
Now, did everybody else get home at 11:30?
No.
And it was one of those situations where you were there with the family?
This is not like the Nutcracker cast party in which I stayed at these people's houses with until I was the last one left at like 1:30 a.m. No, we actually were some of the first to leave because we had to get home. This is a bunch of parents acting
which is always great to see.
Acting a fool.
Let it loose. You don't get that opportunity often.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree. So, again, well, I don't know what the again was. I forgot what we were talking about.
That you looked great in the suit.
No, that's kind. That was the original point.
You were just talking about how hard it is during the new year.
Oh, yeah. No, it just sucks because I'm sad to see the fat ass eating come to an end. It's been really fun.
Guilt-free,
being able to just eat cookies, eat another pasta, like not have to do the intermittent fast. Like, you want to eat at 10 o'clock? Eat at 10 o'clock. Who gives a damn? But now we're getting back on it, guys. 2025 is back. We're back in rhythm. We're getting back on it.
I was doing the fasting thing with you for a while because it's easy for what we do because we get here so early, and by the time you get home, you got things going on. It's like, okay, I can delay this a little bit.
It's a natural rhythm.
But I've been, instead of coffee, I've been a little profy. I put protein into my coffee. Like a Fairlife protein shake is the creamer for my coffee, but that probably breaks the fast though.
I think you're only allowed black coffee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I wonder if AG1 breaks the fast because I do drink that in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
So maybe I'm done. Maybe I'm not doing it at all. But I don't know, man. I've really enjoyed. I mean, it's very meatheadish, which is on brand. But putting a little protein into the coffee instead of milk.
I need some protein in my life. Like I don't drink a protein shake. I should.
What do you do after your workout? They're really good.
Yeah.
What do you do after your workout?
I mean, I don't know.
No sort of anything after you work out?
Time out.
Just drink water.
You know how disappointed Tommy Moffitt would be
I know.
with you right now?
Creatine, no
He
protein.
used to yell at us.
I'm leaving a lot on the
you
table.
are wasting everything you just did
That's true.
if you're not replenishing it with protein.
I'm leaving a lot on the table. That's actually depressingly
You
true.
would have at least 3 abs right now instead of 1 if you did.
About that.
I didn't think you could make me more mad with
gotta
you
get
not
back
having
to
the
protein.
Starbucks app as you are right now.
Oh my gosh!
Still don't have it,
seriously.
by the way.
Oh my god!
Not going to.
You know how many free coffees
You would have
could
free
had
coffee
by
for
now?
life.
So what I've realized by not being an annoying orderer, you find your way to some free coffees anyway. I am convinced that the employees of my local Starbucks, because all I have them do is dump hot coffee in a cup and hand it to me.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is such a nice respite for them amidst the cavalcade of Karens that are asking for peppermint double mocha lattes with a half pump of vanilla.
Yeah.
Not a full pump.
That
half pump.
I mean, my wife has literally made me order half pumps before.
That's crazy. Not the half pump.
Yes.
Caitlin, we got to talk about
I'm
this.
actually going to go the other way. I think you're stressing them out more by doing that because so many people order off the wall crap that they're like, there's no way I heard this guy correctly.
Well, no,
there's
but
no way he ordered this. I'm getting it wrong.
Maybe if it was random, but I know them all now.
Okay.
And no, I mean, a good portion of the time, they're just like, take the coffee.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense there. I mean, I tip Starbucks every time too.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
it's so chaotic in there.
Always.
Tip $1 every time.
I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
And I know, look, that's their job.
Tip $1 on your coffee.
But
Especially
T-Bob's
5
talking
a.m.
about, and people get so mad if you get it wrong, even though they have 17 steps that they want you to follow.
Yeah.
The Starbucks isn't coffee; it's a smoothie and milkshake place. I mean, that's how a lot of people treat it, for sure. All right, let's do a quick big deal or no big deal.
Big deal. Ain't no big deal.
Big deal? No big deal. Big deal.
No big deal. No big deal. No big deal.
Real quick, do want to remind you about Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. GoTommys.com. That's GEAUX Tommys. Tommy's.com. And when you work at Tommy's, you will see the difference clearly. So if you need any exterior home improvement, trust the specialists at Tommy's. Remember, we are talking about energy efficient hardy plank and vinyl siding, energy efficient wood or vinyl windows. The energy efficiency saves you money over time. So this is an investment that pays for itself. And when you work with Tommy's, check this out, guys, lifetime warranties on the siding windows. So any doors, any windows, any exterior improvement, it's all there at Tommy's Windows, Door, and Siding. GEAUX-Tommy's.com, GEAUX-Tommy's.com. All right, big deal or no big deal? The Eagles not letting Saquon try to break the all-time rushing record.
Big deal. Huge deal for me.
Go ahead. Are you being sarcastic again?
No. This is, I understand that they said this was Saquon's decision at the end of the day. I don't know how true that is. And okay, why are you not letting Saquon play in this game? Because you want to rest him for the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. I think this puts incredible amount of pressure on Nick Sirianni and the rest of the team. Your ass better win the Super Bowl. You better go and win the Super Bowl if you don't let Saquon win this rushing record. I think this puts unnecessary pressure on you. The Philadelphia already don't like Nick Sirianni. I think this is a big deal.
I think there's already pressure to win the Super Bowl. I think Saquon is just respecting the 16-game season. He's saying it would be unfair for me to break a record set in 16 games in 17 games, so I'm not going to do it.
No, I hate.
No big deal. Good job, Saquon. Proud of you. Also, should Saquon Barkley be MVP? That's the better question.
Yeah, it's certainly fair. There's 4 guys right now that are in that conversation. It's one of the better MVP races that I can remember.
Yeah.
Between Lamar, Josh Allen, Joe, and Saquon.
Mm-hmm. I just kind of want a running back to win it.
I do too.
You know, it's been so long.
Y'all know.
After being so
one?
disrespected.
Adrian Peterson, last one?
Probably. Because C-Mac never won one, right?
How about Giants fans got to watch Drew Lock play so well that they lose the number 1 pick at the same time that Saquon Barkley is on the verge of breaking NFL rushing records and leading the Eagles to a division title.
Not only that, though, here's why it's a big deal for me. Who do the Eagles play in Week 18? The New York Giants. You let Saquon Barkley break that record against his former team. I don't know why they're not doing
I don't know. There's something pinky up about not playing him at all.
Yeah, we don't even have to play our guy. You little peasants.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Giants.
This is tough for me because y'all know I'm a meathead, and so I love, hey, if you got a game, go out there and play. But I've been a part of teams where all of us sat because we couldn't, better our position. It couldn't get any worse. We already clinched whatever. So if he goes out there and he gets hurt, then that's a whole different conversation that's being had. So if you can't better your position in the playoffs, it's no big deal. Landra, you agree?
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
No big deal. Big deal or no big deal? Brian Thomas Jr. does not make it to the Pro Bowl squad.
I don't know.
Zay Flowers made it, just to kind of give you an example of receivers that made it over him.
That's a big deal. We were talking about it. He set the Jaguars franchise record. He has 1,000 yards as a rookie. I think, without a doubt, the best rookie wide receiver in the NFL this year. I mean, I don't see how you don't make it.
He's 5th in the NFL right now in receiving yards.
And didn't make the Pro Bowl over,
that's crazy.
Other guys that certainly don't have the stats. Again, it's one of those, hey, we're not going to let the rookie. Why? It's even more impressive that he's a rookie and dominating like he is. Well, it's also impressive that he's had Trevor Lawrence and Mac Jones as his quarterback, and they're an awful football team. Everybody knows that he's getting the football, and it still doesn't matter. He's got 1,179 yards.
And only on 80 catches. So out of the top 10 yardage guys, he's 5th. But Justin Jefferson, the only player with a higher per catch average.
Yeah.
Thomas is 14.7. Jefferson's 14.8. Yeah, it's crazy. Big snub.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. Brian Thomas Jr. is quietly having an amazing season.
Yeah.
Because he's with the Jags.
I was going to say quiet because he's in Jacksonville, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, big deal or no big deal? T-Bob picking Baylor over. Just kidding.
Huge. Huge deal.
No big deal.
I mean,
No, my real one is.
Company you keep.
Yeah. Carson Wentz. He's going to be playing for the Chiefs versus the Broncos, which for the Chiefs isn't that big of a deal, but it could be a big deal for the Broncos who need a win to get into the playoffs.
I want this to be a big deal because I want I don't want the Broncos to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I never want any success for those that I feel burned by. And as much I have a lot of thanks to Sean Payton, I do have a bad taste about how it all ended. And I don't want him to go have success with his new girlfriend, right? I want them to blow it by losing 3 games in a row.
Yeah.
Also, Screwbo Knicks, Jaden Daniels Hive, JD5.
Yeah. Let's go, JD5.
Let's go. Let's go, Carson Wentz.
Mine actually directly ties to what something Jake just said. We hadn't talked about it on this show yet, but when I was doing Hunt Show Friday, Monday, me and him were talking about it. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Brian Thomas Jr., and Malik Neighbors. Okay? All 5 of those players are in the top 8 in the NFL in receiving yards. All of them grew up within 120 miles of each other right here in the state of Louisiana. So the receiver talent in Louisiana, big deal or no big deal?
It's always been a big deal. I mean, it's been something, even when LSU didn't have a quarterback, they still had receiver talent, right? I mean, you can go back as far as you want, honestly. You can. I mean, even a guy like Josh Reed, who was a running back at a Reign, right? And he comes in here, and he's one of the best receivers in SEC history. And Early Doucette and Buster Davis and all these guys that have been so good, Ruben Randall and Jarvis and Odell, like you can go on and on and on of the great receivers from Louisiana. I think it's actually the position that Louisiana produces better than anybody in the country.
Seems like it now.
When you look at it. So, I think it's a big deal because it's always going to be there for LSU.
Like Devontae Smith.
He said CeeDee Lamb.
I didn't actually know that CeeDee was born here until that
He was born
tweet.
in Opelousas. After Katrina, he moved to Texas. And then he ultimately played at Oklahoma, obviously. But, all 5 of them with that. So it goes Opelousas area from CD down to the New Orleans area. That's the gap. That's the furthest away all 5 of those guys are.
All right. When we get back, let's talk to our favorite executive 5-star chef. Of course, how about Chef Michael Johnson? What's going on?
I had one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
By the way, Daniil Hunter didn't make the Pro Bowl, and he's 3rd in the NFL in sacks. But big deal, no big deal. Zach Bond finishes 4th in the NFL with 151 tackles.
Yeah, I know. And like every Zach Bond interview that you have read is him being like, man, it was a dark time for me in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Like I was depressed. I would cry in the car. I had no like guidance.
2nd in the NFL with 93 solo tackles.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's weird. Even when Mickey's drafted well, all too often they've let those players leave.
Yeah.
And go elsewhere.
Trey
Whether it's
Hendrickson leads, the NFL in sacks. Sorry.
Von Bell was awesome for a minute there. Did Marcus Williams? I don't know. It's, not good. All right, when we get back, Chef Michael Johnson, get your Munchies questions in the YouTube chat. More OTB.
Off the bench.
Happy New Year from your friends at Central Plumbing. CentralPlumbing.org. CentralPlumbing.org. Hope you made it through the holidays without any plumbing problems. But if you did have some, I hope you called Central Plumbing. You took advantage of 24/7 emergency service. Flat rate pricing, means no surprise or hidden fees tacked on in the back end. Licensed, bonded, and insured employees you can trust that are coming into your home. And an excellent warranty coverage that gives you peace of mind after the job is done. Now, remember, it's not just repairs. If you want to do a bathroom remodel, maybe looking to upgrade like a tankless water heater or something, they are your answer as well. Really, for anything plumbing you want, Central Plumbing. Call 925-8582 or go to centralplumbing.org today.
Go to that website, and you'll see the emergency number right there in the top right corner, 225-925-8552. But we always remind you, not only in emergencies, if you're looking to upgrade, they can help you there. That's at your home or your business. And also, yes, it is Central Plumbing, but not just in Central, Greater Baton Rouge area. They can help you out. Go to the website today, centralplumbing.org.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly
sexy. Welcome back to the 9th-ranked morning sports show in America. Off the bench.
Go sleep on that line.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. And right now, it is our pleasure to be joined by the executive chef of LSU Athletics. We do it every single week here on Off the Bench, everybody's favorite segment. That is Chef Michael Johnson, and this is Munchies.
Get ready to tantalize your taste buds and leave this segment hungry. This is Munchies with executive chef Michael Johnson. Let's eat.
Chef, what's up, brother? Happy New Year. How was how were the holidays?
They were good, man. You know, we drove to Missouri and back, which is like a 14.5-hour truck ride with two teenagers and a dog. So, you know, surviving that is always pleasant.
What do teens do in the car for 14 hours?
Mostly sleep. Yeah. You know, the dog is more interactive with me than my teens are in the car. So.
Just in life?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hashtag Munchies. I'm making risotto tonight, Chef. Any tips?
Yeah. So, you know, risotto, people like to add a lot of liquid and try to stir it in, and that's, you know, that's not how you make risotto. You know, you have to have your temp relatively low, constantly stirring. It's a mixture of trying to cream the risotto, the starch out of the rice, and get that out into the liquid into the grain, right, and it not evaporate out. And you know, when you put it into a broad pan and you turn up the heat too much and it's simmering, you're losing liquid out by evaporation than you are into absorption. And so, you know, not only that, you don't want it to absorb too quickly because then you don't get the creaminess of the starch in the dish. And so that's the beauty of risotto, right? So you got to take your time, keep it moving, you know, in a flat I have a risotto spoon. It's a flat-edged wooden, actually I think it's bamboo spoon. Actually, I think I have like 3 of them, actually. That's how much I like risotto. Yeah. Yeah, so take your time, make sure you're scraping the bottom of the pan so that the grains aren't sticking, and keep it stirring.
Hashtag Munchies. What was on Chef's New Year Day menu?
We had some. I actually cooked on New Year's Day. We had some fried speckled trout that my brother gave my dad and had up in the freezer. And a couple of years ago, I went up sac-a-lait fishing with a buddy of mine in Missouri for Mother's Day. I stopped at his place the day before Mother's Day and caught some sac-a-lait and took up. And so we kind of like to do fish fries on occasions and special occasions. And so I cooked and let my old man rest, and he cooked all Christmas throughout. So it was kind of one of those days where son gets to step in and cook in the kitchen, and we had the family. There's probably 16 people in the house. So
no cabbage, no black eyed peas for you, Chef?
No, we ate ham. My dad cooked a ham that was enough to feed probably 30 people on Christmas Day. we were over the kind of the traditionals for a little while. Yeah.
My wife at about 9:30 last night bummed some cabbage and black eyed peas from the neighbor just so we could both take one bite of it to fight off all of her superstitions.
Was that before or after you dumped the trash in their trash cans?
That was before.
Okay.
That was before.
All right.
Yeah, did you hear about this, Chef? I missed the Christmas pickup day.
Oh,
and
man.
So last night I was scurrying around to my neighbor's cans that were already on the street and dumping extra bags in there. Like just a true degenerate.
Oh, yeah. Man, that's next level right there.
You got to do what you got to do, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the fear of trash backing up in the house, man, that's real, brother.
It is real. I mean, I'm sure you know better than anybody having to deal with restaurant trash output.
Oh, man, you can't mess around like that, man.
I did learn how to make an over easy egg yesterday, though.
There you go.
I had a weird thing where I woke up, I was like, man, I want to, it can't be that hard. I was just sure enough, look up a couple YouTube videos. I maybe did the lazy man's way, Chef, because I don't flip it. But what I ended up doing, you have about a tablespoon of grease, crack the egg right there onto it. I used bacon grease. And then this is the part that I thought was interesting. A tablespoon of water around the egg, then cover it up so it steams it up, cooks the egg white, and then the yolk was runny. I was very happy with it. I'm pumped now. I can make over easy eggs.
Yeah, that's for people who can't flip an egg.
Well, hey, relax, guy. Okay, maybe I'll get. No. How do you make your over easy egg?
Well, one, you got to start with a good and fresh egg, and you don't want to drop the egg from too far. You got to rest the egg in your skillet or on the flat top or whatever, so that the albumin doesn't. If it's not a high quality egg or it's an old egg, the albumin will spread out.
I'm sorry, what's the albumin?
That's the white.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want that white to hold steady in a circle versus, if it's an older egg, it kind of gets watery and will spread out a bit, and it makes it a lot more difficult to turn the egg when you look at it and it's holding its shape in like a circle. It takes a little bit longer to cook, but it's going to set up firmer, right? And what the steam is doing is cooking it from both sides. You understand that, but if you cook it a little bit slower, a little bit lower, and let the albumin set, and then turn it over really quickly, that the thicker that albumin is, the less likely it is to tear apart. And it doesn't. I mean, you don't have to take it. You don't have to turn it over, but for maybe 30 seconds. And
how does the yolk not break when you flip it onto the yolk, though?
Oh, well, that's the beauty of it. The albumin is holding it in place. As it's cooking. That you want that circle. That's the idea behind having a fresh egg is there should be a relatively even even amount of albumin around the yolk.
Well, thank you for shaming me, Chef. I thought my fried egg was great. Screw you.
I'm sure it turned out well.
Hashtag.
That's another thing you can do is if you have oil in your pan, you can ladle the oil over the top of the yolk just before you flip it, and it kind of gives it a little bit of.
To be fair, the best, the highest ranking video that I watched, I watched 3, and the actual big time chef one. That's what he did. He had some butter in there that he was ladling onto the white, and I thought, oh my god, that looks incredible.
Yeah,
so I'll try that
from
next.
The top as well. Yeah. That's a little bit more respectful when you're getting into the hot grease, instead of just using steam. No, I'm just kidding.
You're getting shamed here, Bob.
Whatever, dude. I can fry an egg now with dip in the. I can finally make dip in the bread eggs. Let's go.
So you just poach the egg, and you just.
Poached eggs are fine too, but even then I don't really poach it. I have a cheap poaching pan.
Yeah.
With
little cups.
little cups, little disc.
Am I in the minority here where I just like scrambled eggs better?
I think scrambled eggs are good, but not my favorite.
Chef,
form
you
of egg.
know the best meathead technique for scrambled eggs is throw a little cottage cheese in there.
Really?
Oh yeah, you should try
I'm
it.
gonna have to try this. I love cottage cheese.
I do
man.
too,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
how can I get like the maximum amount of protein in these eggs? And sometimes you could throw cheese in there, obviously, but it's like, no, I want something a little bit healthier, a little bit higher protein.
Yeah.
Cottage cheese and eggs. I'm telling you, it's a go-to.
I'm gonna try this. I put sour cream in my eggs, and it keeps them from going green.
Yeah, kind of the same thing with cottage cheese a little bit, but again, we're trying to maximize the protein here, Chef. We got, it's a new year, new me kind of deal.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna try it.
Let's see how you answer this one, smart guy. JV says #munchies. He mentions that I'm not going to read exactly how he wrote it, but he mentions that he has been on the fast that you were on, Chef, and he seems to be using the bathroom constantly. He wants to know, how long were you stuck in the toilet?
Well, you increase your fiber. That's like you reducing your protein and increasing your fiber. It's an outcome. So without sharing too much about my bowels, I'll just say that it's a thing you have to get used to. Yeah.
#munchies. I want to start making homemade pizzas. Any advice or tips about making the dough?
Yeah, just don't overwork it. It gets tough when you get your dough set. Let it stay. A lot of people will overwork their dough, and it gets tough and stretchy. And when it cooks, it stretches up, it seizes up, or it pull. It kind of in the world of stretchy dough, it's kind of elastic, and if you overwork it, it pulls together and gets smaller. And so a little olive oil in it too. Yeah, it helps relax the dough.
T-Bob, were you asking that question for yourself?
No, that was Scott. No. I went through my pizza phase using the double
No.
I meant
the restroom question.
No, that was JV. No, I'm not doing that.
Oh, Daniel asked the same thing. T is asking the toilet question for a friend.
No. #munchies. Is beef tallow the way to go when frying things?
It's there. It's usable. I don't use it. I actually like coconut oil a little bit to beef tallow. But beef tallow tastes good, man. It's rich. It's on the realm of healthiness. It's like in the middle, I think. But it certainly tastes good, and if you're trying to impress people with flavor, it's a viable solution for sure. Fats that come off of animals typically have lower smoke points, and so you have to be careful of that. If you're not going to get the high tolerance for frying something that you think that you will out of beef tallow. Tallow, because it's been rendered out, is a little bit better, but it tastes good, man.
Are you so Chef, remind me, what is the best fat in your opinion to coat your cast iron with?
You can use tallow for sure. Bacon fat is is another thing, but it just depends on. It depends on what you're shooting for. If you're shooting for flavor, or if you're shooting for nonstick, coconut oil, any saturated fat or any fat that's going to sit solid at room temperature is going to work really well.
Okay.
But tallow and bacon fat both work exceptionally well if you're a meat eater. If not, I would go to coconut oil.
Okay, great. Thank you. More than that. Chef Michael Johnson, the legend, executive chef for LSU Athletics, always joins us just because he's a great guy here every single Thursday, answering all of your culinary queries. Happy New Year, Chef, and
Happy New Year.
You have an excellent day, my friend.
Thanks, Chef.
You guys too. Take care.
Good job getting the boys fed up for the bowl game. All right, when we get back, we got a Tay NFL story of the day. So keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the bench.
Get Gordon and get it done. That's right. If you try to get me in trouble for diving into your dumpster, well, I'm going to get Gordon on your way, right? Look, you get into an accident, you need somebody who's going to stand up for you, fight the big insurance companies to get you what you deserve. That's Gordon McCurdy Injury Attorneys. As I always tell you, getgordon.com is a great place to start that journey where you can see the cases they handle, you can see results from customers, and you can fill out a consult form, send it to them, they'll get in touch with you immediately. Or just want to go straight to a human being? Call 225-888-8888, Gordon McCurdy Injury Attorneys.
Yeah, go to the website today. You can see what they can do for you. Past client results, cases they can handle in the courtroom, even if it is a trash burglar, whatever, it might be there for you, T-Bob. But you can always, in the state of Louisiana, put your area code followed by 888-8888. That is going to get you in contact with the G team over there. Now, at Get Gordon is always going to be the handle as well on all major social media. A lot of ways to get in contact with them. Again, your number, area code followed by 888-8888.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances.
Girl, you know we belong together. I don't have no time for you to be playing.
Welcome back to the 9th-ranked morning sports show in America. Off the bench.
And y'all, welcome back to the little OTB. I'm not smooth this afternoon. Do want to remind me about K to Z window covering. It's KTOZ Blinds.com. Remember, here at K to Z, guys, whether it's blinds, shuttered, shades, drapery, We have all the selection. We have the experts that are going to come into your home, take advantage of 3 decades of experience, and let you know within a matter of minutes just how deep the rabbit hole goes, right? The plethora of options that you have, exactly how the sun interacts with your home at every single point during the day, and therefore what options will change your home in what way, right? So maybe some drop-down exterior shading for a pop of air outside, so maybe grilling and chilling during the summer. Maybe it's something inside for the missus or for who's ever into interior design. The bottom line is you want custom window coverings that wow, you want that expertise, you want complimentary installation. We can work with any price point at K to Z Window Coverings, KTOZ Blinds.com. Go give Brandon Barton a call today.
If
All
I was
right.
Boys to Men, I would sing, not talk. I'd sing everything.
Just everything?
Everything. Like, I would just sing this entire show.
I think I would get annoyed with you.
That's fine.
Even with a voice that good. I'd be like,
Would
oh,
you?
God, here comes Tweedledee singing again.
I mean, I think a lot of people would be fans, though. I mean, he's kind of talking right there, but he's singing.
You trying to have a serious conversation and somebody's hitting you with this? I'd be like, no, just shut up. Just stop singing for 1 minute.
He's talking.
For
Listen,
1 minute.
Just listen.
Okay, look, just get it out. What are you trying to say?
I mean, still got their fastball. Like, this song.
Pizza tonight.
This song is like over 30 years old. I mean, you hear the pain in that man's voice? Somebody hurt him.
Ooh.
Whatever, as long as he doesn't text her.
I mean, pain. Soul.
No Stockholm Syndrome allowed.
Mm-mm.
Let's do a little Tay-Tay NFL Story of the Day.
It's time for Tay-Tay's NFL Story of the Day. Your daily dose of NFL news from Taylor Sharp.
Hey, Taylor.
Pro Bowl rosters were announced yesterday for AFC and NFC.
Hell yeah.
Who would y'all think is the most talented team in the NFL?
The Lions.
Well,
I would say
okay,
so too, but because of
it's
injury-
still fan votes, right?
Yes.
I know it's a bit of a mixture, but
It's horse hockey, but that's just.
I feel like Taylor's
got
going to say the
snubbed.
Cowboys.
I
It
got
can't be the
snubbed one
case,
year.
But I feel
The
like
Baltimore Ravens lead the way with 9 Pro
Okay.
Bowl
That
selections
makes
this
sense.
year. That is like almost half of the AFC roster. I mean, the AFC roster's like 25 guys, and they got 9 of them. So the Ravens are up there. The New Orleans Saints, for what it is worth, did not have a single player on the Pro Bowl roster.
They didn't?
I know, believe it or not.
That's
Hell of a
crazy.
team over there in
Crazy.
New Orleans.
Dennis Allen's not
but-
coaching
I'm
it?
shocked.
No, he was the coach, but they said you have to be an active coach, so they replaced him.
I
He
gotcha.
did get replaced there. He was
Who
going to
would
be the NFC head. Well, now they choose like retired players, don't
Yeah.
they? Like
You know, the Mannings do it, right?
the Mannings do it.
No, I'm saying
before
who would
before
be
Dion was coaching, he did it,
a Pro
and they had
Bowl
like a
player for
receiver
the
on the other
Saints,
side.
if you were to have one.
There's
No one.
No
There's
one.
not.
There's
There's
not.
I mean,
No one's
I
putting
honestly
up
can't. Alvin
numbers.
Kamara, maybe.
Taysom Hill, if he had remained healthy, could have been, but
Yeah.
no. Yeah.
I do want, like, the Saints have been bad, right? But shout out to Foster Moreau. Had a big game against his former team, and I have to imagine that felt really good. He's played pretty well down the stretch as well. So I'm going to give some love to 1-8 down there in New Orleans because he had a good game against the Raiders. And he's actually played pretty well here down the stretch. And that's the only positive thing I can take. And Clyde actually had a couple nice touches. Kendre Miller did.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, he had a couple nice touches, yeah.
3 quarterbacks got selected, AFC, NFC. AFC's easy. It was Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
We got that. That makes sense. The NFC, Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
He made it for his first time. Jared Goff.
Good on Sam Darnold, dude.
Yeah,
How
for
validating is
sure.
that to be a Pro
Yeah.
Bowl quarterback now? Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's talking to the Jets. I got 2 words for you.
All right, let me guess who the third would be.
The third NFC quarterback Pro Bowl.
I mean, for some reason, Matt Stafford pops in my head as someone who would be a.
Well, he's had a good year. Baker's had a
candidate
good
there.
year. I mean, all these
Hold on.
guys have.
Well, you're obviously upset about it.
Yeah, you're upset by it.
Dak Prescott.
I am not upset
No,
about it.
hold
Jesus,
on.
No, I'm
Hold
not upset
on,
about
Let
it.
me think about this. No, Jordan Love.
No.
I got nothing for you.
One Jaden Daniels,
Oh, yeah,
the
duh.
third
We just
quarterback,
talked about that.
selected in the Pro Bowl as the rookie. So it's a Daniels, Goff, and
go.
Sam
Yeah.
Darnold.
Let's go.
Let's go, Jaden.
Sam's been out here fighting for years to get here, and Jaden's like, all right. Oh, what's
This is
this?
easy.
This is the NFL?
Is it?
He's
Okay.
just so
We won 4 in a row. We're now going to make the playoffs and I'm in the Pro Bowl. Okay, cool.
How cool was it? Did y'all see
Damn
the
you, Madhouse!
Yeah, Madhouse.
literally.
Oof. Had some Madhouse conversations earlier this week. A cool video, Marcus Mariota, when Jaden takes that big hit at the end of the game and he goes over. You can tell he's hurting, he's tired or whatever. He's just like, hey,
Oh, the one where he's like,
take a deep breath,
Yeah.
stand up, go use your God-given ability and go win the game.
Yeah.
And that's what he does.
Yeah.
Pretty
You know,
cool
I
moment
was-
from a veteran backup quarterback who's been, a number 2 overall pick, just like Jaden, right? Right? He was number 2, right?
Yes.
And, going over there. And that's why you sign like a veteran backup like that, for like little moments like that. And game prep and all that leading into the game as well. And if he's got to go, obviously. But in those moments, to go have that and to know like, hey, let me go help my guy. He needs a little word of encouragement here. He needs some vet leadership. That's pretty cool from Marcus Mariota.
You know, I was thinking about this the other day watching the Commanders take down the Falcons in that great overtime game, and each person can have their own opinion of Jaden Daniels. Like, what is your favorite part of his game? In my opinion, Jaden Daniels' best attribute in his game, whether they're down by 20, whether they're up by 20, whether it is the biggest moment of his life, the emotion of Jaden Daniels never changes.
Yeah.
Just
ever.
smiling.
He is
He's so
always even keel, right where he needs to be. He's never too high, he's never too low. And you've seen the come from behind victories. You saw the Hail Mary earlier this year to beat the Bears. You saw the gotta have it playoff clinching overtime win against the Falcons. Like, the moment is never too big for Jaden Daniels. And we saw it last season at LSU, but you're like, okay, he's a fifth-year guy. Like, yeah, he's been there, done that. He's doing this as a rookie in the NFL. The guy's emotions never change.
It's awesome. It's awesome to see. And y'all are also hanging out with us today. We got one more segment left, so let's come back. We'll ask the bench. Get your questions in. More OTB.
Off the bench.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales service and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
At Atmos Energy, our Smart Choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Call Brandon Becknell. In Denham Springs, call Scott Landry. And in Plaquemine, call Kyle Robichaux.
Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Christmas carols with Jake and James of Trash Rangers.
Frosty the Trash Man, call Trash Rangers.
Good Lord.
I can't believe y'all made me do this.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Welcome back to the 9th-ranked morning sports show in America. Off the bench.
At first we
God, I miss Christmas music, dude.
No, I'm so. Oh my God, I'm so glad we're back.
Yeah,
I miss it so much.
I
So
couldn't
glad
do it
we're back.
anymore.
I mean, I don't want it year round because then, you know. Then
Exactly. We got its feel.
It's not Christmas music anymore.
We did it for 3 weeks.
Well,
I played
it's
it on. I
for
played it
next
on
year.
Monday
You're
when
not
y'all were
pulling
going.
this crap next year.
T-Bob, I played it on
What
Monday when
crap?
y'all were
For
going. No.
Oh.
Pulling what crap?
We played it for
Next year,
3
we already have
weeks.
the imaging done. We're doing it for the full 4 weeks.
No, we can't. That's a step too far.
No, it's not.
That is a step
December
too far.
1st to the 25th, we're doing it.
We'll talk about it.
It's not up for discussion.
It's up for
No,
discussion.
it's definitely up for
It's
discussion.
not a cheerocracy.
Yes,
it's a
it
cheer-tatorship.
No.
If
And
it's-
I'm
And
Benito Ciusolini.
No, because that's too
Cheersolini.
much.
Let's see,
Because
Tay-Tay,
next
where do you
year-
stand on this?
Ask
See,
me
I'm
about
not a
whose opinion
huge-
I give the least a damn about.
It doesn't matter.
Well,
he's
but
a part
he's
of
a
the crew.
tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Me and Jake.
Obviously, I care about Taylor's opinion greatly.
Honestly, if he goes
And he
with
should
T-Bob, it
definitely
doesn't
vote
matter
my
because
way.
as being the oldest person in the room, there's a totem pole.
That's true.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
I tend
next
to
Christmas.
lean
I'm
against
Mike
Christmas
Gundy.
music most of the time.
Here we go.
So no, I tend to lean against
Yeah.
Christmas
Yeah.
music most of the time. I don't
We'll
hate
talk
it,
about
but
it.
I like regular music
We'll
better
talk
than
about
Christmas
it.
music.
Next year, December 1st is on a Monday too, so that would be a full month.
Yeah.
That'd be a full month of Christmas music.
Well, it's going to be. So it's excellent that it's on a Monday.
We'll talk about it.
And
We'll discuss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're a year out. It's
Taylor.
fine.
Think tank. Well, think tank.
What? See, Bob, you got outvoted 3-1. It wasn't just
Also-
me, brother.
Yeah.
No, you had the power to be the swing vote, and you crumpled like a coward.
Well, I don't care either way, but I don't know.
You
3
crumbled
weeks
like
is
a
a
coward?
lot.
Whatever, shut up.
There's not that many Christmas songs. Like that's a lot.
That's
we had
go to
trouble
Goodwood
finding them
Men's
this year.
Sexual Wellness. Maybe you're just a weak little limp boy like old Taylor Sharp back there. You know, can't get it up. Your wife's disappointed. Your muscles are atrophying. You've got low T. You're just a tired little sad sack of meat. Well, if you want to fight that, stop being embarrassed, fix your life, fix your hair, fix your penis. It's all there at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Go to yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. Look, again, everything I just named, we got treatments for. So why continue to be embarrassed? Why continue to have anxiety? Why continue to suffer when you don't have to? And you get transparent, affordable pricing. It's a very discretionary process, okay? It's what we do at Goodwood. So let's take control of our lives. Let's reach our full potential. Let's not be like Taylor.
Let's not be a good for nothing type of brother.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yourgoodwood.com. See, look how they talk to you, Tay. Should have sided with me. Yourgoodwood.com. Ask the Bench brought to you by Cold Curse Light Vizzy Art Seltzer Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet.
You call him a sack of meat?
Yeah,
He did. He did.
Yeah. It's a limp little sack of meat.
In fairness, I've been called a lot worse by T-Bob than a sack of meat, so it wasn't that bad. Plus, we act like that's the first time he's used me in the dang Goodwood live read anyway.
Fawn says, Hester, is it difficult to try and talk ball with Trader Bob now, knowing that he doesn't really know ball?
You know, I find it easier to talk ball with T-Bob than some of the other people here, but, you know, I'm questioning a lot of things now. Old Trader Bob.
Ask the Bench, what should I leave in my garbage for T-Bob tonight?
Are you a trash panda now?
Yeah. I mean, that's what I felt like last night. Ask the Bench, T-Bob, how young did you take your first kids to Disney? How young were they? I want to say I had one kid at the time, and she might have been like 2, maybe a little under 2 the first time we ever went. I don't know. I know some people are like, oh, well, they're not even going to remember, and that's fair. Like, again, I'm in a unique position where because of my in-laws, I do not have the financial burden that these trips normally cost. So I don't fault you if you're like, I want them to remember it. But if you can swing it, you know, and you like seeing your kid happy and having fun, it is really fun, even if they're that young. Also, Karen, like when you have like a baby and you carry them on your chest and all like,
the best.
It's the best thing in the world.
I mean, we've taken ours from like all ages. When we lived an hour and a half from Anaheim, like we take them, and they were young.
Ask the Bench,
walk, but
was the Texas Bowl a really good teaser for the 2025 season? Yeah, man. I mean, it gave you elements to be excited about, for sure.
Yeah,
Listen to the first hour of today's show.
Those players are going to be who you count on next year, and you're going to blend them with a very good portal haul and also some, you know, a top 8 recruiting class. So
Ask the Bench, who's stalking Alondra and trying to get her fired? Do you have a stalker trying to get
Crazy
you fired?
people, yeah.
Oh, my God.
They like tweeted Gordy, and I was like, I don't.
What?
It wasn't even bad.
What'd you do?
I'll fight them.
If they only knew Gordy couldn't care less about what they tweeted him.
All right, we love you. We'll see you tomorrow, Friday, baby.
Off the Bench.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance with the latest in office technology from desktop to